Welcome, everyone, to Rock Stompers Gymnasium in Clovis, New Mexico. Ty Friend, Ron Gunner with you, and Max back at the station tonight. Hobbs Eagle basketball, first game of district on the road here on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, and YouTube. And Ron, after a big win over Artesia this past week and a snow-out game on Tuesday, supposed to be playing Roswell. That's been moved to next week. The Eagles have been off a few days extra for practice, but getting ready for an arch rival in Clovis. Teams have got similar records too. Hobbs at 10-10 and the Wildcats at 10-9. But Eagles getting a 16-point win of Artesia. They're one of the top teams in the 4A this year.
Yeah, and just like you said, similar records, but not similar teams they beat or played against. Hobbs has had a tougher opponents as far as their schedule. Clovis has had weaker teams to go with, so this is looking like it's going to be a lopsided victory for Hobbs after the second half, unless, of course, Clovis comes in. You know, they've been very sneaky at times where they come in and they play better than they usually do, especially against Hobbs. And here, of course, in the Rock, they go ahead and up that even more so. So, you know, this won't be a cakewalk by any means, at least for the first quarter anyway. It's going to show who's going to be wanting it more as far as whether it be the Eagles and their tenacious D or Clovis with their offense and how they score.
Of course, this is the first game of district. Hobbs would love to get a road game under their belts and a W on top of that. Definitely go back home, and a couple of home games coming up here at the end of the week against Carlsbad at Task Arena. And then next Tuesday, they'll host Roswell for that makeup game that we snowed out a few days ago. Of course, 63-47 was the win over Artesia last week. Michael Mackey, a double-double. Him and Jordan Chisholm both getting doubles in that game. 30 points and 13 rebounds for Mackey. Jordan Chisholm adding 12 points and 10 rebounds. So 42 combined points, 23 combined rebounds in those two guys. Like to see Jordan Chisholm moving up to that double-digit range for the Eagles. The more firepower they can get, plus the rebounding. Rebounding's been an issue, and that's definitely going to help out the cause.
Definitely it is, and just a little bit more teamwork is what I want to see in this team from now on in district, and they definitely should be able to work together. I also like to see Abraham Pena get into the game. He has been a little quiet in the last game against Artesia. He did a little bit, but not as much as I hoped he would. However, he has got 35 three-point trays now. So if he can build on that, then you know what? This could be a good game for the Hobbs Eagles.
He finished in double digits, not a double-double, but 10 points in the contest. And one game that the Eagles came out quickly in, up 19-11 in the first quarter, Ron. Outscored Artesia 16-4 in the second and had a 20-point lead at the half, 35-15. We've had a little bit of some shaky starts in the first quarter and sometimes not finishing well in the fourth, but that game looked like the Eagles wanted to prove to their home fans this team is on the comeback.
Yeah, and they also have a little bit of trouble sometimes in the third quarter, but they bring it back. Most of the times, like with Cleveland, they had a little struggles, but in the first quarter against Cleveland, I like to see that team to come out because they dominated Cleveland. They held them to 5 points in the first quarter. If they can do that against this Clovis team, then you know what? They assure themselves an easy victory.
Artesia did outscore the Eagles in the second half in that game last week, 32-28. So a little bit difference there, but still 16-point victory. One stat that kind of sticks out like a sore thumb is the turnovers. 19 in that game, even in the victory. That's kind of a head scratcher. How can you win by 16 with that many turnovers? But Hobbs has been averaging close to 18 a game. That number's got to come down compared to 7 steals on defense. So that's about a plus or minus 10 when you compare those two stats. You want to have those steals higher than the turnovers. It's not going to happen all the time. But, again, take care of the basketball. I think you mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, and these turnovers, they're a little deceptive, too, because they happen in bunches. They don't happen throughout the game. They just happen during a course of a little bit of a run where Hobbs is in a dry spell, and they tend to turn over the ball. They panic a little bit. They try to do things that maybe they shouldn't be doing. Maybe they haven't gotten perfected yet. In any case, they turn the ball over, and that is one of the problems they have. But I think they can overcome this or overcome that anyway because they don't do it very often, and it's becoming less and less as the season progresses.
One of the shared opponents between Clovis and Hobbs so far this season was Artesia. Of course, we mentioned the win for the Eagles by 16 last week, but Clovis lost to Artesia by 5, 57-52. That was back on December 15th, so definitely a big advantage there. Eagles winning by 16 and Clovis losing by 5. The Clovis Wildcats do have a brand new head coach, first year. He has coached before. In fact, some of you might know him from Hobbs, from University of the Southwest. He's been an assistant there. 2021 was his first year. He came up to Clovis during the summer. Isler resigned the position in July. He took over as the new head coach. He does have some experience in high school basketball in New Mexico, Valencia High, 2018 until he got the job in USW at 2021. He was the 4A Coach of the Year for New Mexico Preps on the internet back in 2018. Also took his Valencia High team to a state tournament game in 2019. Did get a win in the first round there. So he does have some credentials. The state looked at him a little bit and said, hey, this kid's doing pretty good as a rookie coach in New Mexico, and then moved up to, of course, the NAIA with USW as an assistant. So kind of tested on so far with a 10-9 record, but this Clovis team has been having some struggles in terms of winning over the last few years. Just up until this past year, going back about 3 seasons, their record has been 11-28. This year, though, they're 10-9. Those haven't been added into that 11-28. So they are +1 in the win-loss column. But you mentioned their schedule so far has been kind of questionable in terms of some of the wins that they've gotten. They've taken on some 3A opponents. They did beat Espanola Valley 57-35. That's one of their smaller schools. They beat Los Alamos 65-48. Lost to Navajo Prep pretty badly, 63-34. They played Dexter and beat them badly, 78-29. So you can kind of see a trend here. They have beaten Goddard 3 times. They're 3-0 against them. They did knock off Roswell from the district. That was during a tournament, 66-52. So they've already seen some good stuff against the Roswell Coyotes. Last couple of their games so far in the state, number 2 Sandia, they played back on January 10th, got blown out by 30 points. Final there, 78-48. Brian Weiss was the top scorer with 10 points, but he's been dealing with a messed up ankle against one of the Albuquerque teams. He's been kind of trying to get back on track there. He was the only double-digit scorer against Sandia in that 30-point loss. Another common opponent with the Eagles, Santa Fe High School. Again, we played them at the APS Metro Tournament, and we won that game by 7, 69-62. Clovis lost by 6 to Santa Fe, 62-56. And 6 3-pointers by both teams in that game. Both teams hitting 12 free throws, too. So kind of an even contest. It was 13-all in the first quarter. But then in the second half, that's when Santa Fe kind of pulled away and took care of business. And one big difference was the free throw shooting. J.J. Jones for Clovis, he was perfect on the line. 7 of 8. He missed 1 free throw, but he had 20 points. The rest of the team was 5 of 16 for the Wildcats from the free throw stripe. So that definitely was a juggernaut, and that's why they did not lose that ball game. So there's where we stand. Hobbs at 10-10, and this Clovis Wildcats team at 10-9. We'll take a quick break, get ready for the tip-off here at Rock Stoppers Gym in Clovis. Come back with us in 90 seconds after the national anthem. Back live here in Clovis, Hobbs Eagle Basketball, Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube. We've added also the Cool 95.7 Facebook page, live coverage there as well. So we are loaded up on the internet, Ron, as the Hobbs Eagles come into town for their first district game. Should have been against Roswell Tuesday. That was snowed out. This game is on schedule here tonight. Again, 10-10 for the Eagles, 10-9 for the Clovis Wildcats. Hobbs Eagles will be starting tonight. Michael Mackey, of course, he leads the team in scoring so far this season as he is dumping in 22 points a game. Also number 1 in rebounds at 5.6 a contest, and in steals on the defensive side at 2.4. Braylon Vega, the freshman, he'll be starting as well at 6.5 points a contest. He is second on the team in three-pointers with 25 so far, so definitely could use his outside stroke. Abraham Pena, the starter. He is second on the team in scoring at 13.4 a game. Also second in assists, 2.3 a contest. And first with the trays you mentioned earlier, Ron, he's got 35. So 10 ahead of Vega and 15 ahead of Mackey. Definitely some good shooting from the outside. Jordan Chisholm, after his double-digit double-double performance against Artesia last week, starting 4.6 points a game. He's also one of the tops in rebounding at 2.9. Last but not least, another big man underneath for the Eagles, Chris Archibek. He starts tonight with 2.9 points a game and averaging 2.7 rebounds. The Eagles are shooting 46% from the field, 34% from three-point range. They have 7.3 steals a game and giving up the ball 17.6 in the turnovers. Eagles are shooting 64% from the charity stripe. And for the Clovis Wildcats, again, they're kind of dealing with some injuries here. Brian Weiss, he came back after a couple games ago. I went down with an ankle injury in Albuquerque, but he's been back a little bit. He's been averaging in double digits. He's definitely going to be one of their guys that the Eagles have to watch closely, averaging 9.3 a game, first in assists at 2.5, and first in steals at 1.5. Another starter for the Wildcats, Manuel Gutierrez, a junior guard. Gutierrez averaging 6 points a game and not leading any other stats at this point in time, but does have 2.7 rebounds. Marvin Cox, the junior forward, 6'5", one of the big guys for this team, averaging 7.6 a game. He is number one in the rebounds at 9. Again, get close to double digits there. Going to have to get a butt on him for the Hobbs Eagles on the boards in this contest. R.J. Nora, 6'2", senior forward. Nora's averaging 5.8 points a game, third in rebounds at 6.2. And last but not least, J.J. Jones, a 6'4" junior forward. Jones is 4.9 points a game, and he also is a kid that can dunk the basketball. He's done it in a few games recently, so I'm seeing a lot of guys on this team that can go to the boards, and that's something we need to see with this squad for the Hobbs Eagles, is to use your body before the shot is going through the hole or knocking off the rim.
Exactly. Be aggressive. Go for the basket. Go into the lane. Drive that lane and, even get the contact, too, for the foul. But you definitely want to try to get the basket for the two. And the one usually is an easy three-pointer. And you know what? That is something that Hobbs has not always gotten away with. They need to do so if they want to be in district and make it through until the finals, until, of course, the playoffs.
Hobbs Eagles come in the Max Preps poll at number 14 in the state with a 10-10 record. Their strength of schedule is 17, and that's one of the tops in the state so far, in the top 5. So that's why they're still hovering in the top 15 at this point. They have dropped, though, a couple of spaces since a few weeks ago. So wins like this one in district, very important to keep in the rankings. 16 teams make it to the state tournament. Right now they're at number 14. Clovis right now is at 23 in the Max Preps poll, so they need to get some improvement to move on up, even though they do have one less loss than the Eagles. But strength of schedule just in the single digits for Clovis.
Exactly. Like I said, this is a Clovis team that has nothing to lose. They're going to try everything they can to get this victory. They're at home. They're with their crowd, their home crowd, and they're definitely going to try to pull out all the stops to stop the Hobbs Eagles and get their victory and start moving forward into the district.
Eagles pretty much rolling last year in both games, thrashed Clovis. That was in Hobbs at Tasker Arena, 96-29. One of the biggest beatings between the two teams in the series. Eagles shooting 69% from the field in that game. Jalen Gore with 24 points, 5 trays. Michael Mackey was the second leading scorer in that contest. 18 points for him, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals. So he's had some experience against this Clovis Wildcat team. 4 players in double figures, Jalen Gore, Michael Mackey, Jesus Ramos, and Aaron Mora in that victory. The Eagles pretty much dominating that game. Only 8 turnovers in the contest. The Eagles converting on 8 trays in the victory. Game 2 here in Clovis last year. Eagles winning easily by 25 in that one, 85-60. Jalen Gore 25, Mora 24, and also we had Ronnie Ross stepping in for 10 points, so 3 in double digits. Mackey only had a bucket in that ball game, so not as much as he had in the first game against the Wildcats at home, but still pretty much a big dominating victory, the Eagles, although they did have double the turnover, 16 in that game, and shot 63% from the field, so pretty good shooting numbers in both the contests last year.
Absolutely was, and like you said, the first one they dominated, Hobbs did, and the second one was a little bit closer, but in the end, basically, it was a sweep for the Hobbs Eagles, and we're looking to see that start this game to start a good sweep for them this season.
Clovis is having senior night, so they're bringing parents on the court. We're getting real close to tip-off time here as your Hobbs Eagles take on the Wildcats. We'll take a final 30-second break and come with the tip live on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and now on the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. We're ready for tip-off here in Clovis. Hobbs and the Wildcats. Michael Mackey's going to jump up against Marvin Cox. Marvin Cox at 6'5", gets a tip into the backcourt for the Wildcats. Chased down the far backside by R.J. Nora. He'll hand it off to Manuel Gutierrez, the guard, as he goes across the timeline. Stop and go against Pena. Sends it off to the right wing to Weiss. Weiss will hold it. Mackey slides with him up top. Pass going to the top of the circle to Jones. Wide open tray. Nobody guarding him whatsoever that time. And Clovis up early, 3-0. A 2-2-1 full court trap for the Wildcats. Mackey's pass is deflected to the backcourt. Taken by Weiss. Tries to throw it in the left corner. It's saved by Jones. And sets up the offense. Returns back left wing to Gutierrez. Dribbles to the timeline. Flicks it off to Cox. Goes left with the pass to Jones. Jones back deep to Weiss. Swing it to the right side to Gutierrez. Crossover to his left hand. Flings it up top. Driving the lane. Cox down the paint. And he runs over his defender. Over the top of Payne, who slides on his butt towards the baseline as he got knocked over. And that will be the foul call on Clovis. Norris first, and the first Wildcat turnover. But they do lead 3-0 after the tray by Jones. Mackey gets the inbound, throws it to the timeline to Pena. Gets stripped on the floor is Weiss. Recovered by Pena, hands it off to Mackey now in the front court. Drives the paint, shot from the free throw line off the back of the rim. Chased down to the free throw stripe by Vega, and he'll back it up to Mackey at the near timeline. Crossover move to the right side of the paint. Back to Pena in the right corner for three. No, that's Vega. Vega splits it right through the threads for the tray to tie up the ball game. So the freshmen get the Eagles on the scoreboard. We're tied 3 apiece. Hobbs in the black with the white numbers and gold trim. Clovis wearing the white and the purple numbers on top. Wildcat pass down to the left corner to Jones. Up top. Gutierrez out about a three. Dribble to the free throw line and backs out against Pena. Returns left wing to Cox. Touch pass left side to Jones. Returns it left to Weiss. Weiss with the jab step. Over the top of the circle to Nora. Sling it down to the right corner to Cox. Return up top to reset to Weiss. Left corner to Jones. Drives up top. Gives it back to Cox. Cox will spin at the free throw line. Sends it left wing to Nora. Takes a step before driving to the hole and is called for a travel. Second Clovis Wildcat turnover, but the Eagles better be ready for this 2-2-1 trap.
Yes, the defense so far for the Clovis Wildcats has been strong, a little weak and decisive so far on the offense.
Inbound to Clovis, or make it Mackey in the backcourt. Clovis pressing completely against the Eagles. Dish off to the near sideline. Chisholm picking up a double team. Dribbling from the Hobbs bench on the near side, and Coach Reeves calls a timeout, screaming at the squad, nobody helping out. Chisholm, who is not a point guard out there, but he's trying to dribble through traffic, and players are kind of spread out but not coming back to the basketball. We'll keep it right here as we are tied 3-3, coming off trays from Braylon Vega and J.J. Jones for the Wildcats. So right now, a pretty even game. But, of course, the teams that like to trap and press like the Hobbs Eagles, do you think automatically they could beat it as well? But they're kind of struggling right now.
Yeah, so far they're still trying to find their footing, so to speak, maybe their rhythm. And it is early in the game. They can take their time, but not too much. Coach Reeves already unhappy with the fact that they weren't even trying to help out their teammate, and he was in the backcourt. Didn't think it was going to be a 10-second count, but you never know. You just want to go ahead and get that taken care of, get the team on the same page, and then hit the court and see what you can do.
Yeah, Coach is never scared to call a timeout to get their mind frame back where it needs to be, and which he did on that call. Eagle basketball in the backcourt, near sideline, near the scorer's table left. Inbound to Mackey deep. He'll dribble up across against double team pressure. Gets it past to the right wing, driving the baseline. And pivoting on the right block is Acosta, who just checked in. Finds Mackey right corner. Fadeaway three off the back of the rim, no good. Pulled down by Cox. Outlet far sideline. Manuel Gutierrez sends it down the lane. Double clutch on the left part of the rim by Cox. No good. Rebound to the right block. Pulled down by Chisholm. Throws it up ahead to a breaking Acosta. Misses a scoop shot right side of the layup, but tipped back up and in by Mackey on the left side of the glass for his first points and rebound. It's now 5-3. The Eagles have their first lead of the ball game by 2. Clovis opened up with a tray to lead by 3, but now Hobbs has turned the tables. Pass deflected in the front court off the leg of Acosta. Top of the circle, rolls out on the right baseline. It will go back to Clovis. 5:29 left first quarter, first district game for both teams. Their Tuesday games were canceled because of snow. Up top of the circle getting the ball is Weiss. Throws a high one, reaching high forward is Gutierrez. Returns it back deep to Jones. Slings it to the right wing to Cox. Cox being guarded by Chisholm. Back over to left wing, jab step for Weiss. Correction handoff to Marvin Cox on the left wing. Triple threat position. Keeps it in the left corner. Comes up top of the circle, one hand bounce pass to Gutierrez. Over to right wing to Nora. Down to the right corner to Jones. Jones with a head fake. Not biting on it whatsoever is Vega. Kicks it up top, driving the paint, Nora. Reverse layup left side. They call a block foul. The ball bounces around the rim and falls in off the left side. Good for 2 And the body foul going to be called against Jordan Chisholm, his first. First team foul against the Eagles, and a chance for a three-point play for R.J. Nora. First points of the ball game for him.
And that could tie, actually, the game is tied already. It could actually give Clovis a lead once again.
Nora's shooting on the free throw line this season so far at 50%. First free throw of the game. It is 5-5. Shot is up off the back of the rim. Brick no good. Ripped down underneath for the Eagles as they'll get it up court quickly. Not wasting any time for the Eagles was Jordan Chisholm after his second rebound. Throws it across the timeline. Stop and go to Pena. Dish down to the right corner. Vega for three again. There he is. The freshman knows how to hit the corners. He's got 6 points on trays now. 2 trays in the game. Hobbs up by 3, 8-5. Their biggest lead is 3. And we got a touch in the front court, a deflection. It goes off an Eagle, Acosta, and then off the hands of Clovis on the near sideline, Marvin Cox. So Clovis has now racked up 3 turnovers here in the first quarter, not even halfway through. 2-2-1, and once again for Clovis. Inbound comes in for the Eagles, and it's stolen, taken to the rack left side, missing the layup, though. Off the left side of the rim was Nora. That was the second Eagle turnover. Rebound for the Eagles by Pena. And we've got a whistle in the backcourt. Looks like a holding foul going to be called.
Indeed, against Clovis.
Double check to see who that was against.
Looked like it was 11.
Yeah, that's Manuel Gutierrez with his first personal, second team foul against Clovis. Hobbs have to take it back to the baseline in the backcourt for the retry. As putting in is Vega. Sends it deep to Mackey. It's ripped away by Clovis again on the far sideline. Taken away by Nora for the third turnover. Sends it up top to reset for the offense to Gooden. Down the right lane, a scoop shot by Marvin Cox. He's fouled going up off the glass. Looks like they're going to count the basket. Another blocking foul on the Eagles. First bucket for Cox. And Michael Mackey will pick up his first personal in the second team foul, giving Clovis too much penetration in the lane so far.
Yeah, so far both teams looking a little ugly, a little more so for the Eagles. And they just need to clean this up. And once they do, they won't be getting as many turnovers and definitely won't be allowing Clovis all these extra opportunities to score.
Cox has free throw up and good. Clovis now 1 of 2 from the line. Cox with 3 points. 8-8 your score. Hodge is going to sling it down court, driving the right side of the lane. High arching layup with a finger roll, putting it through the hole. Caden Hall, who just came off the bench on a quick transition. It's now 10-8. Eagles by 2. 3:50 left first quarter. Into the front court. Pass to Champ Gooden. Gets it to the right corner with a jab step now for Nora. Dribbles upside and hands it off to J.J. Jones. Goes baseline, spin move. Right block, fade away off the glass, no good. Caden Hall in the middle of the paint for the rebound for the Eagles. All looking for somebody to throw to. Finds Mackey left wing, front court to the baseline. Jump stop. Knocked out of his hands from behind by Kesselin Parker, who had just checked in for the Wildcats. And it'll be Eagles ball on the right baseline underneath the hoop. Hodge the inbound for the Eagles, up by 2. He's going to send it down to the right corner to Mackey. Holds on to it for a second. Dribbles to the right elbow and backs it out. Top of the three-point arc with a pass to Hodge. Hodge at the timeline. Hands it off to Mackey going from left to right. Mackey back to the time stripe himself. Gives it back to Hodge again. Top of the circle. Hand off to Vega, left to right. To the right wing. Bounce pass back to Mackey. Windmill layup underneath the hoop. No good. Put back up. Getting swatted though is Chisholm. Gets his own rebound. And is getting thrown to the floor by the shoulders by R.J. Nora. Hobbs Eagle coaching staff can't believe there's no whistle on that when they call the jump. He was actually grabbing him by both back shoulders and throwing him down to the floor that time. The referees didn't see it.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate too. I mean, you've got 3 sets of eyes on there. One of them surely had to see that, but apparently no call.
Hodge inbound left baseline into Mackey right corner. He gets held this time. The official right there to call that one. So Nora gets his second. It should be his third, actually, after the no call in the previous play. That is the third team foul against the Wildcats. Eagle basketball, far right sideline. Leading by 2, 10-8 with 3:09 left, opening quarter. Inbound to Hodge, deep at the timeline. Dribbles to the right wing, gets a screen from Hall. Hippity hop, shot from the right elbow, off the front of the rim. Ripped down to the left block for Clovis by Nora, and he gets bumped into. A quick foul call by the referee on that far left sideline, as they'll charge that one to Hodge, his first and third team foul. Looks like the officials are watching a lot of bumps now on both teams.
Yeah, they're getting a little too strict on this one. Maybe they'll lighten up, who knows. But we'll find out as the game goes on.
Brian Weiss will come across the timeline, unloads the basketball left side to Josh Wimbish, who checked in. Touch pass left wing to Champ Gooden. Drives baseline, double clutch over 2 defenders as he runs over the top of Vega for another charge for the Eagle defense. So they've had 2 of those so far. Gooden's first personal, 14th foul, also count as a turnover, number 4. Eagles stepping up in the lane, putting their bodies on the line defensively. Pena and Vega both getting him. Going through traffic, Hodge coming down the lane, finds Hall, fadeaway jumper, right block, and puts it through the hole, right through the threads. So Hall coming off the bench now has 4 points. Eagles by 4. That's their biggest lead. A deflection at the timeline, stolen by Chisholm. Hodge tries to track it down in the paint and kicks it out of bounds on the baseline underneath the hoop. It'll be Clovis basketballs. Eagles almost getting a steal on that one. Have their biggest lead of 4, 12-8, with 2:29 left opening quarter.
Seeing some more teamwork with the Eagles so far in this game.
Kalen Parker with the basketball, the far sideline left for the Wildcats as he brings it across. One-hand pass to Weiss, over to right wing to Wimbish, down to the corner, right side, then gives it back up top to Gooden. Coming around behind with a handoff is Parker down the lane. Quick shot from the right block off the back of the rim, no good. Eagles rip down the rebound for Caleb Lehman, and he'll get the ball and get it back to Hodge, gives it to Hodge on the right wing, goes baseline off the dribble, lost it out in front of him, never had control of the basketball, started dribbling before he had control, and turns it over on the baseline. That's the 4th turnover for the Eagles, and Coach Reed's not going to waste any time getting a sub in there as Mackey checks in for Vega, who has hit 2 trays so far for the Eagles. Hobbs has had 3 scores so far, 6 for Vega, 4 for Hall, 2 for Mackey, and for Clovis, 3 apiece for Cox and Jones and 2 for Nora. Wildcat basketball in the front court. Pass over to left wing to Gooden. One hands it up top to Wimbish. Lost the ball at the timeline. They try to save it in the backcourt where they turnover on the violation, backcourt violation. Wildcats getting sloppy on the perimeter passing game to pick up their 5th turnover. Sub coming back in for the Eagles is Abraham Pena in for Hodge. So very liberal substitution pattern here in the first quarter for Coach Reeves as he inbound to the backcourt for the Eagles to Pena. Hand off to Mackey in the front court. Throws a high one over to the right side. Coming down with it was Lehman to the left corner to Mackey. Fadeaway 3, count it, and the foul. He's knocked to his butt backwards towards the Clovis bench on the left side, and a chance for a 4-point play for Mackey. They'll get the foul call. We'll see who they got that one against that time. So Mackey picks up the tray.
He is 80% so far this season from the free throw line.
That's Champ Gooden's 2nd personal, 15th foul. 15-8, Eagles have their biggest lead now, 7 here in the first quarter. Hobbs has converted now on 3 3-pointers, 2 for Vega, 1 for Mackey. And you already mentioned his free throws already. Eagles came in at 64% on the season. Mackey is the leader on the team. Free throws up and good. 6 points now for Mackey to tie up Vega in scoring. 16-8, Eagles doubling up on Clovis. Pressure on the trap in the half court. Throw it into the front court. It's stolen away on the baseline. And they're going to say Pena stepped on the baseline. He had possession of it, then stepped backwards, so they're going to have to go with a turnover on that. But both teams picking up a turnover on those plays. 6 so far for Clovis and 5 for the Eagles. It'll be Wildcat basketball on the right baseline underneath their hoop.
Action fast and furious so far.
The inbound comes into the left wing. Dribble quickly by Parker. Goes to the rack of lefty hook. No good. Rebound Mackey on the left block. He's off to the races with the dribble after a 2nd rebound. Goes backdoor to Hall. Fadeaway jumper from the block. Right side off the rim. Chased down and put back up, but knocked out of his hands as he goes up in the air is Chisholm after his 5th rebound. Chased down by Mackey in the left corner, his 3rd board. Keeps it back left wing to Pena. Clock to 1 minute left first quarter. Eagles by 8. Drives to the right side of the perimeter. He hands it off to Lehman. Lehman back deep to Mackey at the timeline underneath the minute. Hard dribble against 2 defenders, weaves through traffic, slings it down to the right corner to Pena, wide open for a 3, an air ball over the rim, pulled down to the left baseline for the Eagles by Chisholm, his 6th rebound, outside to Lehman on the left side, 3, he misses out the back of the rim. Hall with the rebound at the free throw line, comes down the lane to Pena, who lays up high with a double clutch right side of the glass, and is fouled. So Hall starting to rip down some boards, his 2nd rebound, and trying to get up high with it was Pena, but he'll get 2 free throws as they charge the foul to Kalen Parker, his first 16th foul already against the Wildcats, and we're yet to exit the first quarter.
That was about a handful of rebounds for the Hobbs Eagles. Usually they don't even get that in 1 quarter, and they did that just in that play.
Pena shooting 69% this season from the charity stripe, makes his first there. Pena's first point of the ball game. Hobbs with 4 scores so far and 3 for Clovis.
Got an update on Eunice and Jal, the end of the 3rd quarter. Eunice 37, Jal 14.
That's a big Lee County battle going on tonight. 2nd shot for Pena is up, bouncing around the rim, and no good. Ball's loose, rebound by Hall on the left baseline, but he throws a bad pass in the lane, a turnover up the other near sideline to dribble in the front court, losing the ball. Kalen Parker, Eagles strip it away for the 7th Wildcat turnover, taken by Pena. Pena comes down the lane, tries to go backdoor and overthrows his teammate on the right baseline, waiting for it, but the ball thrown ahead of him. Jairus Turbiatis sails out of bounds, and the Eagles now trading turnovers. They've got 7. Clovis has got 7. When we get the ball back, we got to take care of the basketball. We mentioned that in the pregame show.
Exactly. You got to take one thing at a time. First get the ball, then take care of it.
Eagles going to go with some trap pressure, a 1-2-2 full court with 15 seconds. Clovis throws the ball to the timeline, right to Hall for their 8th turnover. He throws a bad pass up court. It's taken away by Torres Pierre for the 8th turnover for the Eagles. Throws it down the lane, trying to go up strong with it on the right side of the glass. It's Gutierrez. They call the foul at the chest by the Eagles. Ball came off the rim, but they'll get the foul on Hobbs. Caden Hall, his first, and the 4th-team foul. Clock will stop, 5.6 seconds left, first quarter. Eagles by 9, their biggest lead of the ball game. And on the line will be Gutierrez as he steps up to the stripe. He'll get 2 free throws here.
Got an update from the Hobbs Lady Eagles. Right now, into the first, 15-6 is what they lead over the Clovis Lady Wildcats.
Terra's shooting 71% this season, but blows the first free throw off the brick. He'll get 1 more. Second shot, bounce around the back of the rim, somehow stays in the cylinder and put it through for 1. 17-9, Hobbs by 8. Inbound far sideline, backcourt to Pena. Crossover move, gets bumped into by Torres Pierre, no call. Doesn't get a chance to shoot it from half court before the buzzer. And the Eagles with an 8-point lead at the end of 1 over Clovis, 17-9. We'll take a 60-second break and come back on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Back at Rock Stompers Gym in Clovis. Ty friend Ron Gunner, Max back at the station with you. Eagles leading over Clovis to start district 17-8. As we look at the numbers in the first quarter of action, leader for Clovis, J.J. Jones with 3 and Marvin Cox with 3. 2 for Nora, 1 for Gutierrez. For your Hobbs Eagles, already 4 scorers. 6 apiece for Michael Mackey and Braylon Vega, combining for 3 trays. 4 for Caden Hall with 3 rebounds and 1 for Pena. Chisholm, 6 rebounds in the first quarter. Your Eagles by 8. Clovis basketball to start the second. Right corner, Gutierrez. Sends it back right side. 3 on the way for Wimbish. Off the front of the rim, no good. Hall sky high for the rebound, his 4th board. Outlet to the far side to Pena. Pena back to Mackey. Mackey will bring it across against the defense of Hunter Egbert, getting his first action. In the front court, top of the circle. Dribbles left, hands off to Pena. Back deep to Hodge on the right wing. Takes a few dribbles. Uses it up, looking for help. Defense right on top of him now. Jones able to unload to Hall on his right wing. Back deep to Hodge. Hodge will slide right. He'll back it out to the timeline. Mackey comes back and gets it right side. Stop and go. Crossover. Free throw line. Shot on the way. Swishes it right through the hole. Mackey now with 8 points to lead the Eagles. Hobbs has their biggest lead of the game now by 10, 19-9 here in the second. Dribbling up the near sideline is Khalil Torres Pierre. Spins as he comes across. Bounce pass up top to Gutierrez. Fumbles the ball. It's stripped away by Chisholm. Turnover number 9 for Clovis. Chisholm down the lane with a high arching scoop shot right side and puts it through. Jordan Chisholm has his first bucket, and the brand new coach of Clovis is not a happy camper. Coach Maddox calls another timeout. Eagles have their biggest lead here in the second. 21-9 over Clovis. We're coming back in half a minute live on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and on the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. 6:54 left, second quarter. Hobbs Eagle basketball live on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Clovis after a timeout, bad pass across the timeline. Hodge picks it away for the Eagles. That's the 10th Clovis turnover. Tepany up top, tries to throw it down low, and unfortunately does not connect with Chisholm, taken away in the lane by Clovis for the Eagles' night turnover. On the near side, pass to Gutierrez, throws it across the timeline, same right side to Khalil Torres-Pierre. Dribbles right to left, top of the circle. Continues down the right side of the lane, turns and fires. Rejection by Pena. He'll pick up the ball on the near side. Send it ahead to a breaking Hall. 1-2 and up. A finger over the front of the rim and puts it through. Caden Hall doing some boarding and some scoring. 6 points, 4 rebounds at the other end. 23-9 Eagles by 14. A steal by Hodge off the dribble. Ripped it away from Parker. Comes into the front court, tries to go to the rack with it. He gets bodied up. Ball sails out of bounds on the right side, but knocked out by the Wildcats. That is their 11th turnover of the ball game. So definitely having some problems in the purple and white here at their own stadium, Rock Stabas gym. It'll be Hobbs basketball. Hodge on the left baseline underneath the hoop of the Eagles, leading by 14, their biggest lead. Gets it into Mackey right corner. Backs out on the wing, fires up an NBA three off the right side of the rim, no good. And we got a battle for the boards. A couple of Wildcats underneath getting a piece of it. That was Cox and Jones, and getting squeezed between them that time. Chisholm, he got a piece as well, but they're saying the White had more of it for Clovis. Hodge on the left base again, gets it into Hall right block. Fadeaway Jay is deflected in the air. Cox, but put back up and in on the left glass. Point blank range for Chisholm, 4 points and 7 rebounds. He's dominating inside for the Eagles. They lead by 16 now. Pass down the lane for Clovis. Reverse layup on the scoop shot, putting it through. And for Marvin Cox, he's got 5 points to lead the Wildcats, 25-11. Going to the other end, Pena. Jump stop, shot from the left elbow, nothing but net. Pena swishes it through for the Eagles. He's got his first bucket and 3 points. 27-11. Eagles back up by 16, matching their biggest lead of the first half.
Hobbs on a 10-2 run right now.
Hodge is going to deflect a pass at the timeline, knocks it off the hands of Josh Wimmis on the far left side, but it goes out of bounds before he can retract it. So Clovis will retain possession. He's been very aggressive on the D so far. Inbound from the timeline by Jones, gets it in the left wing. It's tipped out by Hall. Actually, no, that's Mackey gets a piece. So they're just going to move it up the sideline into the front court now for the Wildcats left side. Back to the inbound goes Jones. Hall trying to knock it high in the air on the inbound. Unloads the Nora left wing. Drives lane. Pass to the right elbow to Weiss. Hesitation. Cradles it. Pass to the right corner. Faking a tray is Wimbish. Sends it up top to Cox. To the left wing to Nora. Down the lane. Lefty layup. Missed easily by Cox. And pulled down for Pena underneath the hoop. Pena now with 2 rebounds. Dribbles into the front court. Weaving through traffic to the rack. Coast to coast. And he does a little finger roll over the right rim. Pena puts it through for 2. He's got 5. 29-11. Eagles of the rout here, 18 here plus in the second quarter. 4:52 remaining before the half. Slowing it down just a bit, Coach Maddox waiting to see what's going to happen with the D. Handoff at the top of the arc to Weiss. Spin move, free throw line. Dish off right wing to Wimbish. He'll hold it as Hall steps out on D. Puts it up top to Nora. Sling it left side to Jones. Fakes a tray. Comes down the lane. A runner on the way off the back of the rim. Gets his own rebound. Goes back up. No good. Tipped up. And finally put through over the top of the iron by Cox right underneath the hoop. That's his 7th point. Back-to-back for him and 2 rebounds. 29-13. Eagles still up by 16, though. Passed into the left corner. Pena with a fadeaway just inside the 3-point line. A 15-footer for him. So Pena's starting to rack it up. 6 of his 7 points here in the second quarter. Eagles up by 18 again, 31-13. Hall getting a steal momentarily on the far left sideline to the front court, but his foot touches the sideline, so can't get the steal call there. But Hobbs doing an aggressive job as they're putting their hand in the passing lane all over the place. Now we got some subs in the game. It looks like Vega's back. Michael Mackey. Lehman steps on the court. Still out there as well as Chisholm. They get it down low, left block for Clovis. Fade shot in the paint off the back of the rim, no good for Cox. Rebound to the right base, gives it back to Cox, fumbles it in the paint, taken away by Chisholm. Throws it ahead to a breaking Mackey with a Statue of Liberty layup on the right side. He's got 10 points. Eagles continue to dominate, and another Clovis timeout. Hobbs extending their biggest lead of the game to 20, 33-13 over Clovis. We'll take a 30-second break and come back on the Hobbs Eagle Network. The biggest lead in the game for the Hobbs Eagles here in the second quarter by 20 over Clovis, 33-13. I'd like to thank our sponsors of Hobbs Eagle basketball on the radio and the internet.
Lee County State Bank, Thriftway, Forest Tire, Hobbs Express, Robinson & Associates, Debit Energy, First American Bank, Eunice Pump and Supply, Lasco Construction, and NMR Pipeline.
Well, Michael Mackey came into the game averaging 22 points a contest, already has 10 of those to get close to half of his point production this season. Right behind him is Abraham Pena. He's got 6 of his 7 points in the second quarter, and 6 apiece for Braylon Vega with 2 trays, and Caden Hall with 3 buckets and 4 rebounds. Hall is getting high off the hardwood underneath the bucket, doing a great job extending those arms up and tipping some shots and taking some J's as well.
Exactly, and they're playing with enthusiasm, just like I wanted to for the whole season. They're doing a great job.
R.J. Noor dribbles into traffic at the timeline, bounce pass across, Weiss will come through. Dribbles it off his ankle and lost the ball. Taken away for the Eagles. Going the other way is Chisholm. Backdoor, layup high for Vega. Bouncing around the rim and good. Vega now with 8 points. That's Clovis's 12th turnover. 35-13. Eagles by 22. A pickoff in the timeline for Vega. Lehman gets it, gives it back to Vega, lays it in uncontested on the right side. Another Clovis timeout. Unbelievable. 10 points for Braylon Vega. Clovis now with 13 turnovers. You can see the screws turning. Coaching staff, all 3 of those coaches for Eagles with big grins on their faces.
20-4 run in this quarter. That's the reason why, Clovis is trying to panic. They're trying to get back into this game. But so far, everything they've thrown at Hobbs has not stuck. Well, at least it didn't stick after a moment, because they did have a good run going on in the first, but they cannot seem to match that energy. Hobbs, on the other hand, seems to be coming out here strong. They wanted to win this game, and they're definitely proving it. Before they were a little iffy, they were a little not working as a team, but now they're back together again, working as 5 as 1, and that's the reason why they've got this nice 20-point going on as far as the run against Clovis's 4.
And boy, Coach Reeves putting a lot of subs in and big clumps too. 3 or 4 guys coming in at a time and get some rested groups in and out of there. Clovis basketball getting trapped at the timeline, thrown across to Parker. Gets double teamed by Lehman and Mackey. Chucks it over to the right wing to Cox, fires up a 3 and swishes it. That might be how Clovis is going to try to get back in this one. So right now it's 10 points for Cox to lead the Wildcats, 37-16, a 21-point lead. Weaving through traffic is Acosta at the timeline. He gets bodied up. They call the foul on the Wildcats. That will be their 7th team foul, so it should be a bonus for the Eagles, as they'll call that one against Champ Gooden. Gooden already with 3 personals in this ball game, so he's going to have to take a seat pretty quickly here. Yes, he does. He's one of their top scorers and not having a lot of success so far, with no points in the game and 3 fouls. Acosta will step up to the charity stripe for the 1-and-1. Acosta trying to get in the books tonight, yet to score. Free throws off the back of the rim, unfortunately, no good. Pulled out on the left baseline for the Clovis by Cox, his 3rd rebound. Pass to the timeline. Fumbled through 2 defenders goes Parker. They're going to call the travel. Parker got some tough D by Lehman and Acosta on that far right sideline. And for Clovis now, that will be their 14th turnover. Oh no, they call the offensive push-off foul instead. So still a turnover.
And Mackey's still asking questions.
Wait a second. They just switched it up. They're going to give a foul on the Eagles out of nowhere. So that's going to be a foul against Brian Acosta. I don't know where that came from. So let's take away one of the turnovers for Clovis. They've got 13. Pass it to the front court on the right wing for the Wildcats to Egbert. Kicks it up top. 3 on the way out the back of the rim for Nora. Pulled down underneath, trying a little semi-hook and getting fouled going up. Draws short of the rim. That's Cox with his 4th rebound. So he was kind of leaning into the Eagles that time. They call the foul on Hobbs, though. That's Caleb Lehman's 5th team foul. So that will put on the line Marvin Cox, who's perfect 1 for 1 and leads the team now with 10 points.
That is known as shooting for the foul.
Free throw up and good for Cox. They are now 3 of 5 from the charity stripe for 60% are the Wildcats, but they got a big hole to dig out of. They're down by 20 here in the second quarter. Second shot now for Cox is off the rim, no good. Pulled down by Acosta, but he gets it knocked out of his hands by Clovis. They take it back. That's a 10th turnover. Pass underneath to Parker. He gets it back in the middle of the paint to Cox, who goes up strong. I think they're going to count the basket, kind of just pushed it over the rim. No, they're going to say shot wasn't up quick enough. So Cox will go to the line once again. That will be a little lean shot for him. Checking to see who they got the foul on that time. That'll be that's Mackey. 16 foul, 2nd on Mackey. First shot is up and swish for Cox. So he's made 2 of his last 3 free throws. He is 3 for 4 from the line. Hall's going to check in for Acosta, and they're going to tell him about holding on to the ball. Once you get a rebound or whatever, you better make sure you don't get it stripped immediately, which happened on the last play. Cox with one more free throw. Shot is up, and it's a swish. He had 3 points in the first quarter and 10 here in the second. 13 overall for Cox. It's starting to come on for the Wildcats. 37-19, though. Eagles with a big cushion, 18-point lead. 2:28 left second quarter. Lehman going to chuck it to half court on the inbound to Mackey. Against double team. Comes across against him. Hands him out open left corner. Chisholm going to spot a three, an air ball, though. Chased down to the right corner by Hall. Good speed there with 5 rebounds. Back deep to Mackey on the right wing on the far side. Dribbles through his legs as he takes on the defensive Parker. Gives to Hall on the right base. Double team against him. Hand off to Mackey right corner. He's getting a double team. Dribbles around them. Shot from the right elbow. Fade away. Puts it through the hole. Michael Mackey continues now with 12 points, 6 in each quarter. 39-19, a 20-point Eagle lead and a travel. No backcourt violation. Stepping in the front court, then a foot back in the backcourt for Clovis on the far left sideline. Hunter Egbert. And that will be their 14th turnover for the purple and white squad, who's got some major mess to clean up here down by 20. Under 2 minutes left second quarter. Eagles up. Mackey in the front court. Gets a handoff from Lehman. He'll be guarded by Parker. High pass to the right wing to Vega. Jab step. Up top to Chisholm. Swing it left to Mackey on the perimeter. Backs into his defender for momentarily. Finds Lehman top of the arc. Drives the left side of the lane. Hippity hop to Hall in the left corner. Backs it out to the top of the arc off the dribble. Finds Vega right wing. Back deep to Mackey. 1:30 left in the half. Eagles by 20. Mackey will hold it for a second. Slides left. Back to Lehman left corner. Spots a three. Off the front of the iron. No good. Ball gets tipped around and it's going to be knocked out of bounds. And they're going to give it back to Hobbs. It looked like getting held by the jersey from behind, J.J. Jones, and the Clovis fans reacted to that one. They're going to still keep it with Hobbs. The officials had a conference, but no foul called on the Eagles. They got lucky on that one. You could see that jersey pulling like a rubber band.
I know, but there's a lot of action going on under that basket right now.
Balls gets thrown up top for the Eagles. Chisholm down to Mackey in the right corner. He gets held before driving it to the right side of the paint for a J. So they're going to call the foul. No, they're going to say he stepped on the baseline. The officials keep using weird signals out there. Looking like they're calling a fouls, pointing at team or players, and then pointing at the ground and saying out of bounds. That will be an Eagle turnover. They're 11. Beating pressure coming across the timeline. Gutierrez sails it down the left corner to Jones. Back to the left wing to Parker. Stop and go. Cradle underneath the hoop. Reverse layup. Right side off the glass and scores. He pumps his fist after the bucket. His first of the game. 39-21. Eagles by 18. Vega fires it across the timeline to Hall. Jump stop. Shot from the right block. High off the glass. No good. Ran a rebounding foul. They're going to say Lehman was bumping into the back of Caitlin Parker on the left block. So Lehman's going to the free throw line, but the official's pointing the other direction. He's pointing that it's going to be Clovis basketball, but now we got Lehman at the free throw line. I don't know what these signals are all about down there.
I know, but they've got two officials that are saying that it's for Hobbs and against Clovis.
So that's going to be a foul on Parker, his second 18th foul. A one-on-one shot, first missed, to make it two now for Lehman. I don't know why it's a two-shot foul. There's not 10 fouls on the board. That wasn't a shooting foul either. I cannot understand what's going on out here right now.
Evidently it was considered a shooting foul because, like you said, they don't have enough for a double bonus. They only have single bonus. And so originally they should have been, but at the very beginning I saw him put up two.
Lehman will shoot his second free throw. Missed his first off the front of the rim, second off the back of the rim, and underneath the hoop for the board, pulling it down is Cox for his fifth rebound. Outlet up the near sideline to Parker, drives all the way to the baseline and knees it out of bounds. He picked up a double team from Pena and Lehman. Lehman's going to take a seat now as Hodge checks in on the sub with 45 seconds left in the half. Eagles by 18. Pena throws a high one into Mackey, top of the circle backcourt, leaps over top of two defenders, gets through him, weaves to the free throw line, puts on the brakes, finds Pena right wing. He goes down the lane, tries to throw up a shot on the double clutch, gets the ball knocked out of his hands out on the baseline. Still be Hobbs basketball on the left base, doing a little bit too much that time. And now it'll be Hodge to try to find somebody open in the paint. Having some trouble finding someone. Finally, it's Mackey in the left corner. Spins, gets knocked to the floor. His knees were taken out by Caitlin Parker. No foul call there. Looked like he got accordioned down to the floor. Wile E. Coyote stuff going on there. They're going to give it back to the Eagles, though. Hodge inbound to Mackey deep with 30 seconds near the timeline. Stop and go, left wing. Continues down the paint. They call the hold foul. And that'll be against a very aggressive Parker who's been bumping into everybody on defense. That'll be his second and the 19th foul. Notice the crowd getting a little bit more loud and violent here in Clovis. They want to come back in this game down to the Eagles by 18.
Exactly, and the foul count so far favoring the Hobbs Eagles Normally that is not something that they see in the past, and that is oftentimes burned them.
9-6 foul count. Eagles with a 6. Mackey's free throw is good. He's 2 for 2 from the line, 13 points, 7 of those here in the second quarter, and extend that lead back to 19.
Also good to hear some Hobbs fans down here too, making a lot of noise. Maybe not as much as the Clovis fans. Still though, chiming in.
They closed one half of the grandstands here, usually where the Hobbs Eagle fans sit. I'm not sure what that's all about unless they just don't have the fan support anymore. Mackey with his second free throw in a row and then put up the be quiet signal to the Clovis student section. 3 shot at the other end on the left wing off the side of the iron. No good for Jones. Rebound underneath by Pena. He's off to the races. Pena driving up the far right sideline. There's a hold from behind. 3 rebounds for Pena. And we got a push by the Wildcats.
We had a Wildcat down, but he is getting up and he's walking. But he was on the floor for a moment, was a little concerned maybe he got hurt. He did land pretty hard just a moment ago.
Manuel Gutierrez picking up his 3rd personal, and that's going to be the 10th team foul. Double bonus for the Eagles. Pena on the line, 1 for 2 on the stripe. He's got 7 points. First shot is up and good. Hobbs now up by 21, doubling up on the Wildcats at this point. Getting one more free throw now is Pena, with 8 points so far. 14 for Mackey to lead the Eagles. Second shot is reversed. Spin, no good. And pulling it down for Clovis was Cox, his 6th rebound. Bounces it across the timeline on the left wing to Vega. Or correction, make that Hagbert. Up top to Torres-Pierre. Spins. Shot from 3 with 3 seconds left. In and out, no good. Hodge with the lefty rebound. And that will end the second quarter of action. So the Hobbs Eagles, I guess you could say, dominating this ball game at Rock Stompers Gym here in Clovis, New Mexico. 42-21, doubling the Wildcats. We'll take a 3-minute break and come back live at the Hobbs Eagle halftime show on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and on the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. We're back at Rock Stompers Gym in Clovis, New Mexico. Your Hobbs Eagles doubling up on the Wildcats. Clovis 42-21. Mostly a dominating performance in this game so far, Ron. I mean, everybody's hitting all cylinders. Eagles so far with a total of 5 players in the scorebook, 1 or 2 double-digit scores, Mackey and Vega at this point. Clovis struggling all over the place. I think the biggest stat that sticks out here big time is the rebounds. Hobbs up 21-8. So double-digit rebounds. They're not really getting more than about maybe 20 or so a game right now at the half, 21 boards.
Yeah, they're playing with a purpose. Definitely, if you look at both sides and you see that Hobbs started off slow, but they got really fast, really quick, and they're playing it on both sides of the court, offense and defense. And that's the reason why also it did help to have a 25-12 second quarter to get the lead on this one by 21. And all they have to do now is just keep on the gas, keep going forward. Do not let up, because one of the problems they do have with it is they tend to foul a lot and give the other team some charity stripe points, 3 points, and that's what's been killing them overall in this season. Hopefully they won't be doing this. So far they've been good on the penalties for the Hobbs Eagles. At
the same time, you were telling me just a second ago, the Hobbs Lady Eagles blowing out Clovis at home tonight at Tasker.
Exactly. Right now it's at halftime. It's a 32-6. That means that they held Clovis to no points in the second quarter, which is even better what they did over here. So, yeah, Hobbs Lady Eagles, we knew they'd be flying high tonight, and they definitely are over at Tasker Arena.
Well, let's look at the numbers in this game. There is one score in double digits for Clovis so far, Marvin Cox. He is working on a double-double, 13 points and 6 rebounds. He had 10 of his points in the second quarter, and you're one of those guys you mentioned getting some free throw opportunities for Clovis. Cox right now is 4 of 5 from the line for 80%. Well ahead of their other scorers on this team. You got to go way down the list. J.J. Jones has 3 points on a tray, 2 apiece for Kaylin Parker and R.J. Nora, and then 1 point for Manuel Gutierrez. So only 5 scorers in the first half. Clovis with the dismal 8 rebounds in the first half. Cox has 6 of the 8 of the board so far. They have hit 2 3-pointers in the game, have the Wildcats. Jones with 1 and Cox with 1 as well. Wildcats are shooting 5 of 8 from the charity stripe for 62%, and something really hurting them so far besides the lack of rebounds, turnovers. They've got 14 in the first half. For your Hobbs Eagles, we mentioned 2 in double digits. Michael Mackey, 14 points, 3 rebounds, perfect from the line, 3 for 3. You mentioned this heading into the game, Ron, 80% coming to the contest. He continues to stroke it. Just because you score a lot of points, 22 a game, does not mean you're always the best free throw shooter, but he's making sure people know they can do both and be real good player.
Yeah, with 8 out of 10, he's usually right on the money. Sometimes he even gets 9 to 10 out of 10 from uncertain nights. But you know what? He doesn't even have to work as hard as he usually does. He is going to be needed in the second half, of course. We don't need anybody, slacking off a little bit. However, we've got some other players that are doing some chores. They're getting stepping up. They're getting those nice, easy, fast break points as well. Hobbs has always been their bread and butter, and so far this year they've been kind of starving a little bit. So it's good to see them hungry for that fast break and being able to get them as well.
Yeah, you mentioned that, too. The Eagles like the transition game over the years. They've kind of gone to a perimeter handoff game around the top of the arc. Guys going left to right around the circle there, getting some handoffs, trying to lull the defensive sleep. But half-court offense is not really what the Eagles like, as you mentioned. They want to get the ball up the court, and that happens by tough pressure defense. So we saw Clovis applying some pretty good stuff early, a 2-2-1 trap, and the Eagles were coughing up, 3 or 4 turnovers early in the game.
Yeah, it did catch them off guard. I'm not sure exactly why. You would think they would practice it more often, but however, it seems like I've seen a couple of times where whether it be a good team or even an average team, if they double team certain people or even just the team itself, that throws them off a little bit. They panic. It looks like they panic anyway, and they try to get the ball off, and instead they do some turnovers, and they cause some headaches for themselves. And luckily that has stopped. Although, you know what, I'm expecting to see the Wildcats come out. Maybe they'll do the same thing in the second half to start it off, see them get the momentum back in their direction.
So Mackey leading with 14. Braylon Vega also double digits. He had 10, 2 trays in the first quarter. The freshman also added 2 buckets in the second quarter. Does have 1 rebound. Abraham Pena, the starter, with 8 points, 7 of those in the second quarter. He went 2 of 4 from the line and had 3 buckets in the second. 6 for Caden Hall coming off the bench, and 5 rebounds. He's definitely crashing the glass for the Eagles. Jordan Chisholm also rebounding hard. He leads the team with 7 boards and has 4 points so far. So Hobbs with 5 scores at this point in time. They are 5 of 10 from the charity stripe at 50%. And also in terms of the three-point shots, Hobbs has hit 3 so far compared to 2 for Clovis. And we mentioned the rebounding difference, 21-8. Eagles by plus 13 off the glass. Hobbs has had a total of 11 turnovers, again, 14 for the Clovis. They just had a little mascot fight in the middle of the court. It was an eagle and a wildcat, but I thought that was the Hobbs mascot, but it was actually a big blow-up eagle with air inside of it. It looked like one of those big sumo blow-ups, and, of course, guess who's getting the raw end of the deal? I guess they haven't looked at the scoreboard lately, though.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, that's the only thing they're going to win tonight is that mascot victory, although it wasn't our mascot. It looked more like a chicken than it did an eagle to me.
Yeah, it took me for a surprise because it had the same colors as our eagle, but a little bit too much air inside of that pocket right now, and it looks like he's hanging out by the black or purple and white cheerleaders here at Rock Staubus. 42-21, the Eagles got the upper hand in terms of the basketball game over the Wildcats. We'll take another minute break and come back with the second half of action on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Getting ready for second half action here at Rock Staubus Gym. 42-21 Eagles over Clovis. And Ron, we've been watching a very heated discussion at the scores table. Coach Reeves is all over the two scorers, the scorebook and the clock operator. He stood there for about 5 minutes. Refs came over. After they left, he went back to the table with his arms outstretched. He was angry. I'm not sure what that's all about, but Eagles by 21, so I know the points are right, but I'm not. Maybe it's the foul situation. I'm not sure.
You know what? With these games the way they are, you never can tell exactly what it is until you get it from Coach Shelby Reeves' mouth. So we won't find out tonight, but of course we'll find out before the next game. That is for certain.
Now we did have a question about some free throws earlier where they were the two-shot foul and something going on there, but I don't know if that would have been to the level Coach Reeves. And he's still having some words for the official too. They're talking to an administrator now for Clovis, one of the refs is. And I'm not quite so sure they might be changing somebody at the table. I'm not sure about this. Nope, they're going to keep everybody down there. But they had some words about the scorebook for sure. But Eagles up by 21, so nobody fouled out in the first half. That's one good sign at this point. And we're still waiting to get this game started. Now two refs with Coach Shelby Reeves having another long discussion.
Yeah, and they're just listening, and he is doing all the talking.
They have one of the Hobbs coaches, Coach Q, from the JV squad. He's over there talking with the book right now. They're looking at every player. They're pointing at every player. Coach Reeves has come back to the table and is shaking hands with both of the three people at the table at this point. I guess he's just going to take it and move on with this game. He knows the W is on the way here. Doesn't want to waste any more time. Eagles basketball to boot. Paul come across to Payne on the right wing from Mackey. Bouncing to Mackey in the right corner. Jab step, fires up an 18-footer. You bet you're going to get that one through the hole. There you go. Michael Mackey, another J. He's got 16, 44-21. Eagles up by 25, their biggest lead of the game. 23, excuse me. So definitely have had the lead since the first part of the ball game. Bounce pass back door for Clovis. Fumbling into the air and coming down with it finally is Cox. Lays it on the right glass. He's got 15, 44-23. Here comes Mackey. Stop and go on the far left sideline. Comes across, head fake, taking on Nora. Nora's not going to bite, slides with him, left to right. Mackey coming down the left side of the lane, double clutch on the left side of the glass. It bounces off the rim, gets bited up. 3 Clovis Wildcats coming in there to try to knock that ball in the air. They'll call the foul against Jones, his first, and that will be the first team foul against the Wildcats. They had 10 fouls in the first half, the Eagles with only 6. So Coach Reeves could have been talking about fouls unless they got somebody with 4 or 5 on the books there, but there wasn't just that many fouls in the first half to begin with.
Mackey was knocked to the floor on his effort, so he gets to shoot 2.
He's 3 for 3 on the line. As soon as I say that, it's in and out on the free throw. His first miss. Still is the leader, though, in the game for both teams with 16 points. He is now 3 of 4 for 75. Eagles now 5 of 11 as a team. You'll get one more here. Shot is up, and it is bouncing off the back. No good. Loose in the lane. Body's running for it. Mackey comes up with it. Fade shot in the middle of the paint. Misses off the front of the rim. And pulled down for Clovis on the right baseline by Jones. His second. That was the 4th rebound for Mackey off the missed free throw. Into the front court. They do the handoff on the near side to Nora. Bad pass to the time stripe. Rolls in the backcourt to the far sideline left and out of bounds. And that's what you call a unaided turnover, as Clovis now with 15 turnovers here in the ball game. And they trail.
Only got too many as it is.
21-point lead for the Eagles. In the front court, Vega gets the handoff up top, gives to Mackey to the left wing. Stop and go, crossover move. Gives it off to Chisholm, top of the arc. Swing it right to Vega. Down to the right corner to Acosta with the pivot. 360 now. Jab step, but he touches his back foot on the baseline. Trying to come up the court to the top of the arc, and they get the step out for the turnover. That's number 12 on the Eagles.
Yeah, he got a little too wide of a spread on that one and did hit out of bounds.
Gutierrez with the ball. Stop and go. One hand throw down the lane to Nora. Goes up strong with the lefty. Rejected from behind. It's taken away by Acosta. He gets the rebound, but then gets it stolen from behind that time. And getting it back for Clovis was R.J. Nora. The ball knocked out of his hands in the front court. It will be Hobbs make it Clovis basketball. So the turnover, although Acosta got the board, he wasn't looking up court. That happened in the first half, and already Coach Reeves goes to the bench and says, I'm going to have to make a spectacle of that one. We need to make sure we take control of the ball after a steal.
Yeah, that was off the hands of Chisholm.
Brian Weiss will get the ball on the right wing, down to the corner to Jones. Jones will bounce it right block, back it in is Cox, spinning. Ball gets knocked up in the air somehow. Pulled down on the baseline, but stepping on the baseline is Jones underneath the hoop for the 16th turnover. So both teams having some trouble moving the ball inside at this point, causing some turnovers.
Yeah, knowing where they're at, too. You got to know where you're at all times. Keep your head on a swivel and make sure you don't step out of bounds.
2-2-1, full court trap. They get it ahead to Hall for the Eagles. Fadeaway jumper, right block, air ball. Underneath the hoop for the rebound is R.J. Nora. Ball gets knocked up in the air, picked up at the left wing by Vega. Fires up a three, right through the hole for the tray. His third of the ball game. He's got 13 points and 2 rebounds. A full court pass is tipped by Chisholm underneath the hoop at the other end. And it will be Clovis basketball underneath their basket as they trail by 24 in this game, the biggest Eagle lead of the contest in the third.
Going to have a timeout for Hobbs as he doesn't like what he sees, apparently.
We'll keep it right here at Rock Stoppers Gym. Eagles up 47-23, and a couple games coming up very quickly in district. Friday, of course, they'll have Carlsbad, one of those roller coaster teams. It seems like this year and last year they'll beat teams they shouldn't beat and then lose to a few that they shouldn't lose to. But I think they're going to be a tough contest to be with the Hobbs Eagles because that's coming up Friday night. It will be at Tasker Arena, so definitely get a chance to check that one out. Carlsbad coming in with the 11th ranking in the state, 12-7 in the Max Preps poll, and they have a strength of schedule of 13.2, which is not as high as the Eagles at 17, but you got to thank the Albuquerque Metro tournament for helping out our strength of schedule. A lot of tough teams we played up there in the Duke City.
Exactly. Of the 3 teams, I feel anyway, Carlsbad is the one that's the most threatening. Also, though, that's a good thing, too, because if they play us strong and they still have a good strength of schedule, it'll also benefit us as well. Of course, we also can't forget Roswell coming up the next week.
Of course, Roswell got beat by this Clovis team, the team we're beating right now by 24. Inbound steal near half court. Mackey's going to go up with a dunk. Tomahawk jab over the front of the rim. He gets the steal. 18 points for Mackey and the 17th Clovis turnover. Hobbs by 26 now, their biggest lead of the ball game. Ball comes across the timeline, fumbled by Nora. Picked up on the left wing by Jones. Slings it back to Nora to reset. 49-23, backdoor. Layup with a scoop on the left side. Putting it in uncontested was Champ Gooden, one of their top scorers on the season. That's his first bucket of the game, though. 49-25 to Vega, right corner at the other end. 3 shot at the front of the rim, no good. Hall gets a rebound in the middle of the paint, looking for some help. Gives it up top to Mackey. That was the 6th rebound for Hall. Mackey slides to the left, fadeaway shot from the free throw line and puts it through. Michael Mackey with 6 points in the third, 20 to lead the Eagles in both teams. Hobbs by 26, matching their biggest lead. At the other end, double clutch down the middle of the lane. Comes Brian Weiss, he's fouled, and they're going to count the bucket as well. Chance for a 3-point play as Mackey is called for a push in the back, his third. Only the first team foul here in the second half.
Well, Mackey did leave his feet. He shouldn't have, but on the other hand, to me it looked like that was a clean shot. And no foul, but unfortunately that's not what the referees saw.
Weiss will step up to the line. That was just his first bucket of the game and puts the free throw through as well. He's got 3 points, and Weiss, one of the leading scorers on the season for the Clovis Wildcats at 9.5 a game, third on the team, and yet just scored his first points. 51-28, Eagles still up by 23. Michael Mackey now in the front court, slows it down, top of the circle, against the defense of Champ Gooden, who backs out against him. Stop and go, dribbles through his legs, crossover to the right side, lost the ball, and it rolls out to the Eagles bench, right to Coach Soria on the right side for the turnover. For the Eagles, that is their 14th of the game, but a total of 17 for Clovis. 51-28, Eagles by 23, 4:40 remaining. Hobbs trying to get a +1 on the win-loss, and this would drop Clovis to 500, 10-10. Hobbs at 10, or make that 10-10 for the Eagles, 10-9 for Clovis. Wildcats in the perimeter passing game on the right wing to Cox. Cox hands off behind to Gutierrez. Bounce pass to the right corner to Gooden. Gooden comes up top, flicks it over to Parker. Drives the lane, does a little jump stop, shot from the right block. Flicks it over the front side of the rim, right side, and puts it through. And a foul on the Eagles, a chance for the three-point play. They call that one on Hall. His second, the second team foul back-to-back against the Eagles. And that is Parker's fourth point of the ball game. Trying to make it 5 with a potential free throw here. Hodge checks in for Vega for the Eagles. And here we go for the free throw now for Parker. Shot is up, and it is good. He's got 5 points. 51-31, a 20-point Eagle lead. 4:20 left, third quarter. High inbound to Mackey at the timeline. Dribbles through to pressure. Zigzagging to the right baseline. Leads and shoots toward the hoop and scores. Got knocked down, but no call on that one. Look back at the official and had some words for him. That is 22 for Michael Mackey. 53-31. Hippity hop down the lane. The same guy that drove before. That's Parker missed. Tip back up, no good for Gooden. Chased down by Mackey, and he gets held from behind as he dribbles up court on the transition. They call the foul. 5th rebound for Michael Mackey. And they're going to take it all the way back to the baseline for the Eagles. They're going to call the foul against the guard. That's Parker, his second team foul against the Wildcats. And they're going to take him out of the game. He lost his head a little bit there. Coach Maddox going to talk to him.
Well, that is his 4th.
So 3:59 left here in the third. Eagles up 53-31 by 22. Payne will take a breather, and Lehman will step in for him. Hall still out in the court. Chisholm and inbound from Vega. Vega to Lehman, then gets it back to Vega near sideline. To half court to Chisholm, back to Vega now in the front court. One hand pass to Lehman, dumps it low to Hall, left block, pivots between 2 pressure defenders, and finds Lehman in the left corner. No-look pass up top to Vega, spots a 3, clinks off the front of the rim, no good, loose. Picked up by Lehman on the left wing. Lehman tries to dribble to the near sideline or left sideline and gets the ball knocked out. He fumbles it out of bounds with a turnover. That's 15 now on the Eagles. And still a 22-point lead. And we kind of seeing that kind of a trend. Hobbs might have double-digit turnovers, but there's been some games, so they still had double-digit leads as well.
Exactly, and as long as they keep that lead, that's all that matters.
Pass to the left corner for Clovis, fires up a 3, does Cox and puts it through. His second tray of the ball game, 18 for Cox, the third tray for the Wildcats. 53-34. At the other end, Chisholm takes to the rack, double clutch left side, misses off the side of the rim. Ball rolls out of bounds, back to Clovis. So Hobbs' offense getting out a little sink here in the last minute or so. Mackey will return for the Eagles, and Lehman will take a seat. Hobbs still up by 19, though. 3:18 remaining here in the third. First game of district for the Eagles. They'll play again on Friday at home against Carlsbad. Beating the pressure for the Eagles is Torres Pierre. Yeah, it's Friday night tonight, isn't it? Pass up top to Gutierrez. Took a step, tried to dribble right around the perimeter, and Hall thought he was going to shoot, crashed down on top of him, and got another foul. So Hall's starting to get in some foul trouble. His third team foul, and it will be Clovis basketball on that far right sideline. Yes, Tuesday night, Roswell first, and then Carlsbad next Friday. Get that straight. The inbound comes to the right corner. We have a foul underneath. They got the ball to Champ Gooden. He tried to pivot and pass. And they call the foul on the Eagles. And that's against Chisholm, his second, 4th-team foul. Officials really not relaying those foul calls real well to the scores table. It's been hard to see them. They do a quick draw on it, and then they're out of the play. Inbound to the right wing, fakes a 3, drives to the free throw line, and throws up a J, fadeaway for Jones, and puts it through. He's got 5. 53-36, Eagles by 17. It's Hodge is going through traffic on the wave. They're going to call a carry at the timeline. He tried to get around one last guy, Jones, and Jones was helping the ref call that one as he made the signal for a carry. And that will be the turnover for the Eagles, their 16th. Clovis basketball near sideline, near the scores table on the left. Inbounding will be Manuel Gutierrez after the Eagle turnover. 17-point Eagle lead, 2:54 left third. Gutierrez will push it back into the backcourt to Torres Pierre. Brings it across against Hodge. Cross over to his left, backs it out, and sends it over to the right wing to Cox. Cox spins against a Costa right wing. Dumps it down to the block, to the right block. Backing in is Cox. Goes it down the baseline right side. Gooden drives the rack from the base and gets fouled as he leans to the hoop right of the rim. Ball doesn't go in, but he gets fouled. A lot of fouls being called on the Eagles the last couple of minutes. The second on Acosta, 15th foul. 5-2 foul count now in favor of Clovis, and that will put on the line Champ Gooden. His only bucket of the game has been here in the third quarter, and he's third on the team in scoring at 9, almost 10 points a game. So Gooden's going to step up. First free throw is good. Champ Gooden will get one more. Came into the contest shooting 50% from the charity stripe. Gooden now with 3 points. 53-37, a 16-point lead, and makes his second as well. He's got 4 points. Pena returns for the Eagles, and for the Wildcats, it's going to be Hunter Egbert. Eagles going to have to face some trap pressure now. 2-2-1 full court. Hodge will check it to the near side. Acosta to the half court to Pena. Beat the defense. 2-on-2 comes down the lane. High arching layup on the right side and puts it over the glass and in the hole. Pena has 10 points now in double digits. Second score in doubles for the Eagles. 55-38. Bounce pass across the timeline is kicked. Looks like Pena got a foot on it at the time stripe. They're going to give it back to Clovis at the half court line. Nice pressure though for the Eagles on the trap. Gutierrez will inbound just ahead of the half court line in the Wildcat front court. Bounces it in the backside to Torres Pierre. Comes across against Chisholm. Dribbles through his legs, does Pierre, top of the circle. One hand pass to the left wing to Egbert, thought about a three. Bounce up top, ricochets to Jones off the foot of Chisholm. Jones will dribble left, bounce it to the left corner, fumbling it, bigging it back is Egbert. Guarded closely by Chisholm. Underhands it back deep to Torres Pierre. To the right wing to Gutierrez. Kicks it to the right corner to Jones. Jones dumps it right block to Cox. Spins baseline right. Fadeaway jumper on the spin as well, and he gets knocked to the floor. They call the foul. Got between Acosta and Chisholm that time on the right block, facing basket, then fell backward, and they got the foul call. Boy, they're racking Acosta up with fouls in this quarter. That's his third, the 16th foul, one away from the bonus, and we're still about 2 minutes left in the third.
Yeah, that is the bad news. 6 with a quarter and 2 minutes, almost 2 minutes to go. And, of course, Clovis is going to take advantage of these fouls.
Free throw good for Cox. He's got 19 points, leading the Wildcats.
Got an update on the Lady Eagles. So far, it's starting the fourth quarter where they're leading 45-10.
25-point lead there. And Cox 5 of 6 from the line here for Clovis. Second shot is good. He made them both. He's got 20 points. 55-40. Down to a 15-point game. Pass to Chisholm at the timeline. Throws it across to Pena. 2-on-2. Shot from the left of the lane. No good. Mackey with a tomahawk jam on the rebound. Couldn't get it to drop. Hodge will pick it up. He drives the right side. Lays it up. Misses. Mackey with another rebound going up strong. And he's tied up in the air. No foul call. The official at the half court is calling the jump as the ball sails out on the baseline. But Mackey getting a couple of rebounds there. The tomahawk jam on the first. It came off the front of the rim off the missed shot. And another attempt. 7 boards for Mackey. And 22 points to lead the Eagles. Hodge on the left baseline. Bounce pass back door to Mackey. He gets knocked up high in the air. Lands on his butt bone. He didn't like that foul whatsoever. Clovis getting very physical now to try to take out Mackey high up in the air. They'll get the foul on the Wildcats. That's going to go against Egbert, his first, and the third team foul. So Mackey will get free throws out of this one. He's missed his last 2 here in the third quarter, and is 3 of 5 for the game for 60%. 22 points for Mackey. Shots up off the back of the rim, no good. We mentioned that Mackey came into this contest averaging 22.1 a game, so he's met his numbers for the season.
Yes, he has.
Clovis gets a sub. Champ Gooden returns as he comes in for J.J. Jones, one of their big kids, 6'4".
He's usually been one of the brighter spots for the Hobbs Eagles as far as the charity stripe. There he goes again.
Mackey makes the second of 2 free throws, and 23 points for him. 1:35 remaining in the third. Eagles up by 16, 56-40 over Clovis. Crossover move for Torres Pierre in the front court. Sends it down the right base to Egbert. Hands it off behind him, right wing to Cox. Back deep again to set up to Parker. To the left wing to Gutierrez. Back to Parker, left corner. Top of the circle to Cox. Cox will hold it. Dumps it right wing to Egbert. Drives the free throw line. Hand off to Pierre. to the right wing to Gutierrez, to the free throw line. No look pass left wing to Egbert. Drives the lane, stripped by Pena. Clovis now with 18 turnovers. Pena bounce pass backdoor to Mackey, high off the right glass of the layup and puts it through. Mackey with 25 for the Eagles, leading both teams. Long ball to the other end, coast to coast on the pass. Laying it up on the right side is Cox. So Cox now with 22, a steal at half court. Here comes Clovis. Shot from the right block and scoring it with one hand off the shot put was Egbert for his first bucket. He's got 2. 17 Eagle turnovers. Mackey to Pena on the near side. He'll break across, 58-44. Backdoor to Hall, brings it down to the left block. Wraparound pass right wing to Pena. Fade away, 18-footer, swishes it through. Pena now with 12 points. 60-44, Eagles up by 16 once again. 25 seconds left, third quarter. Coming across the timeline is Torres Pierre. He'll slow it down up top against Chisholm. Unloads left wing to Egbert. Back deep, it's going to be chased back to the timeline. Errant pass to Pierre. He picks it up. Drives to the free throw line. Gives it back left corner to Cox. Fires a 3 and good. Hall got a hand on him that time, but not enough. And that's 25 for Cox on the tray. 4th tray for the Wildcats. Mackey at the other end, dumps it to Chisholm, left block, backdoor to Hall, gets stripped. Mackey tries to get it and shoot before the buzzer. They're going to say no, it's not quick enough. But your Hobbs Eagles, even though Clovis getting kind of loud on this Rock Stubbs gym, Eagles still have a double-digit lead over the Wildcats, 60-47. We'll come back with the finale in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Back here at Rock Stubbs Gym in Clovis, Ty friend Ron Gunner Max with you tonight as the Hobbs Eagles lead the Clovis Wildcats first game of district 60-47, a 13-point lead. Leading for the Wildcats, 25 for Marvin Cox. Nobody close to double digits. Parker and Jones both with 5 apiece. For your Hobbs Eagles, 25 for Mackey, 12 for Pena, 13 for Brandon Vega. He's second as a freshman. He's hit 3 trays in the ball game. Hobbs by 13, Clovis basketball to start the fourth. A bad throw in the lanes, taken away by Pena, and that'll be the 19th Wildcat turnover. Pass to Hodge to the timeline, throws it back door to Hall, wasn't ready for it, fumbles it out to the right base for another turnover. And for Hobbs now, that is number 18 in the ball game. But they still have the 13-point lead. Trap pressure, 1-2-2 for the Eagles. In the backcourt, dribbling around through the pressure is Egbert. Bounce pass to the near sideline. Left goes out of bounds to the Clovis bench through the hands of Gutierrez, as Clovis now with 20 turnovers off that one.
And anything you can do, I can do better.
Or worse,
Right.
I guess you on that count. Inbound to the Mackey in the backcourt. He'll take his time with the dribble to run some clock. All 3 coaches up for the Hobbs Eagles, telling everybody what they need to be doing. To Hodge on the right wing. Keeps the dribble alive in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench. Comes up top the circle, gives it to Hall. Hall looking left. Little hesitation, hand off to Mackey on the left wing, up top to Chisholm. Chisholm will hold the ball second, hand off to Pena on the right wing, back deep to Hall. Hall with the pivot, bounce pass and a handoff to Hodge on the left wing, tries to hippity hop down the lane, gets bumped into hard as he tries to extend to the bucket that time. They call the body foul on Cox, just his first, and the 14th foul against the Wildcats. Eagle basketball left baseline, underneath their hoop. Cox inbound. Gets it in right wing. Pena fakes a 3, dribbles to the right edge of the free throw line. To Mackey, who comes back at the time stripe. Spin move against Weiss. He'll back it out to the half-court line again. Stop and go, crossover move through his legs to the left wing. Stop and go again. Crossover, screen from Chisholm, left wing. And they call the timeout as Coach Reeves telling them before they come to the bench that he wants to see the ball passed outside and get the ball moving around the perimeter. We'll take a timeout as well. 6:52 left, fourth quarter. Your Eagles by 13. Back in half a minute. Your Hobbs Eagles up by 13, their biggest lead of the game earlier, 26 points. So Clovis has got that down by half. Still in the ball game, too. They've had some guys hitting some trays late. Eagles just trying to get their momentum back on the offensive side and getting those looks inside for some potential three-point plays.
Yeah, Clovis has been playing smart. They've been getting it a little bit off of offense, a little bit off of defense, just chipping away. In fact, 8 points more in the third quarter. That helped them get back into it. Of course, you know, Hobbs has something else to say about this, and if Mackey and others can get hot, then this is going to be an Eagles blowout.
Clovis 11 of 14 from the line for 78%. Your Eagles 6 of 14 for 42. Inbound to Payne at the time stripe, turns and faces the D. Comes to the left wing, off the dribble. Backs it out to the timeline, waiting for some help. Crossover move to the free throw line, lost the ball, gets it back on the right wing, keeps the dribble alive. Payne with a good ball control now, stripped again, spin top of the circle, jump stop over to Chisholm left wing. He backs in the lane, lost the ball, gives it back to Pena. He fumbles it again. Gutierrez diving on the floor for it. The Eagles picking up their 14th, or making their 19th turnover. Bodies are diving on the floor now as the Wildcats lost it momentarily, and the jump ball will go back to the Eagles. So pulled down by Jordan Chisholm, so Clovis gave it away as well. 21 turnovers for the Wildcats and 19 for the Eagles. A total of 40 turnovers in this ball game. Not been a clean one there.
No, it hasn't. You would think that Christmas was today because they're both of them are giving away the ball like it's a present.
Mackey in the backcourt picks up the inbound. To be met at the timeline by Gooden, and Gooden slaps at his arm and gets the foul. Gooden now with his 4th personal, 15th foul against the Wildcats. So Gooden's going to have to be careful here. One away from the DQ. Vega gets it in, back to Payne at the time stripe. They didn't get a chance to get the sub in quick enough. Payne is going to run some time off the dribble. Comes left, throws it back door to Mackey, but it's taken away on the left block. Good steal there, going high in the air was Cox for the Eagles' 20th turnover. Cox sends it across to Weiss, near side left wing. Crossover move through his legs, down the lane, hippity hop. Turns and fires a shot in the lean, no good. Tipped in the air, Mackey rips it down underneath the hoop for the Eagles. That's his 8th rebound. He gets knocked to the floor, flat on his back as he dribbled up top of the arc in the backcourt. And they get the foul on Egbert, his 2nd, 16th foul. Good news there, Eagles are 1 away from the bonus, but so is Clovis.
Exactly, but you know what, like you said, Eagles are 1 away from the bonus. They have not been in the bonus in most of their games, and they've had to watch as they see their other team go on the cherry stripe and make those 3 points. Hobbs may be able to get that done after all.
Inbound to the backcourt to Pena. He goes against Gutierrez on the crossover move. 5:50 left in the game. Eagles by 13. To the right wing, unloads to Vega, who just checked in. High pass up top to Chisholm. Swinging left to Mackey. Has to spin to get the ball. And he goes stop and go, left baseline now off the dribble. Puts on the brakes, finds Pena left wing for 3 in the NBA distance. You better believe it went through the hole that time. Pena has picked up his first tray of the ball game and has 15 points. 63-47. Eagles back up by 16. A little bit more breathing room now. Weiss in the front court. Spin move down the right side of the pike to Gutierrez right wing. No look pass right side again to J.J. Jones. His 3 off the back of the iron. Ripped down rebound by Vega. His 3rd. Goes ahead to Mackey. 2-on-2. Reverse layup left is hammered. Slides across the floor on his back on the baseline. He got chopped hard. Ball didn't go on the rim, but he gets a foul call. And that's Jones' 2nd, 17th foul. And Mackey kind of smiling as he came off the floor. He does get fouled quite a bit, but sometimes adds a little bit of the Academy Award version of it.
You know, whatever it takes sometimes, as long as it doesn't look like a complete flop, I am good with that, and he is good on the line right now. I know he's missed 2 so far. I don't think he's going to miss any more than that.
First free throw for Mackey is off the back of the rim. As soon as you say that, you hexed him there.
I know. I'll undo it. I'll undo it.
He is now 4 of 8 from the charity stripe. He's missed his last 1. He missed 2 earlier in the half, but trying to get back on track. We're not going to snibble about that with 25 points, though. Second free throw is good. Nice rotation on the ball that time. 26 for Michael Mackey. Leading both teams in scoring. 64-47, a 17-point lead for the Eagles with 5:08 remaining. Both teams 0-0 in district. Both had to reschedule due to ice outs on Tuesday, and they were still melting snow off here in Clovis even as we came in tonight. Water all over the roads and roofs, dropping off snow and water, and they got a lot more snow than we did in Hobbs on Tuesday.
And colder temperatures as well. It's going to be in the 30s tonight.
Driving hard is Weiss, left side of the lane, lays it up high, off the back of the rim, no good. Kicking his foot out high in the air for the rebound is going to be Pena. He tries to dribble through two defenders in the paint of the backcourt. They call the foul. Fourth rebound for Pena. Clovis fans don't like that one. They thought Pena caused the foul with putting his head forward. They call the foul on Weiss. That's his first personal 18th foul. There's the bonus time for the Eagles as Coach Reeves steps out of the court, puts both the fingers up in the air. He wants to see some free throws, and Pena will be the one to step up for the Eagles. Abraham Pena so far is 2 for 4 for 50%. Hobbs 6 of 14 though as a team, 42%.
Yeah, and for this season, let's see, he is 69%. So he's not doing too bad. He could get better numbers, of course. Let's see if he can improve them today.
Does have a tray here in the fourth quarter and swishes the free throw. Now has 16. Second leading scorer behind Mackey's 26. And Vega comes in at number 3 with 13 off of his 3 trays. Fist bumps from Coach Ross and the bench players right now, including Mackey and Hodge. I'm sure we'll be seeing a few of them in just a second. Chisholm's also getting a rest. Peyton nails second free throw as well. He's got 17 now. And the score 66-47, back up by 19, 4:48 remaining. Ball in the hands of Weiss, who'll bring it across the timeline. Lehman is checked on as a D. Throws it up top to Torres Pierre. Crossover move, top of the circle. Throws a low one, having to go dig it out as Cox. Back deep, top of the arc to Nora. Drives with his left hand down the lane. He gets bodied as he goes down the paint. They call the foul on Hall before he's able to shoot that one. So Hall will pick up the foul. Hall with his fourth personal. And the 17th foul. So both teams in the bonus the rest of this ball game, whether it be the single or maybe the double here coming up. On the line for Clovis will be Cox. Cox has 25 to lead the Wildcats. He's made his last 4 free throws. And is 6 of 7 from the charity stripe. Definitely's got the numbers here. Off the back of the rim as I say that, though, underneath the hoop for the Eagles, Lehman rips it down for Hobbs, his third board. Throws it to Collin, gets it back in the paint. Throws it across the timeline to Acosta, front left. 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. Back to Pena at the timeline. Front court. One hands it over to Lehman, right wing. Over to left side to Vega. Pass up top to Acosta. Good dribble to the left elbow. Pivots, uses it up, and throws it back deep to Hall. Spin to the right wing. Hand off to Vega. Vega kicks it back deep to Pena. Swinging left side to Lehman. Good ball movement. To Acosta, left corner. Sees some space. Comes up top to Hall with it instead. Over to left wing to Lehman. To the free throw line. Gets his hand ripped. No call. Unloads the right corner to Acosta. Finds Pena back deep. Pena looks for a second, crossover move to the right wing, throws it back to the timeline to Vega. One hand pass to Lehman, coming down the lane, over to Hall in the left corner. Eagles running clock. Hall doesn't take the shot, drives to the free throw line. Up top to Pena, fakes a trade, drives the lane, reverse layup right side with the windmill and scores. Pena now with a total of 7 points in the fourth, 19 overall. He's a leader on the floor right now for scoring, as it's now 68-47, Eagles by 21. Pass down to the right corner to Weiss, spots up a 3 off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound left block with a fadeaway in the paint, tries to throw over the front of the iron, gets fouled as Cox. That's his 7th rebound, bodied into Lehman that time, and I think they called him on the foul.
I think that was Acosta.
Yeah, it will be Acosta who was in the area, and they're saying that's Acosta's 5th personal, so he will foul out with no points and 2 rebounds. And coming in for him will be Michael Mackey. Chisholm was trying to check in here. Why'd the referee hold him out? He brings in a sub and tells the second guy to come in. He can't come in the ball game. Even though it is a 2-shot foul, you're able to bring that sub in there, I was assuming, but we'll have to check on that one. So on the line will be Cox. Misses a brick off the back of the rim. He's missed his last 2 free throws here in the fourth quarter.
You know, Hobbs has owned Clovis in this series. 75% is what their winning is. Since 1949, it's been 145 and 48 losses.
So definitely a major domination by the Eagles program. Second free throw for Cox, bouncing around the rim for 1,000 minutes and finally drops. He's got 26. 20-point lead for the Eagles, though, 68-48. 3:15 remaining. Mackey now with the ball. Crossover move. Sails it across the timeline to Vega. Top of the circle. Back to the timeline. One hands it to Pena. To the right wing to Lehman. 3:08 left. Back deep to Vega at the time stripe. He comes left around the circle. Flicks it over to Pena. Jab step. Dribbles in the lane. Off his foot, though. Taken away by Clovis off the pick. And going hard with it is Pereira. Backdoor layup with double clutch by Nora. He's got 4 points. That was the Eagles' 21st turnover. 68-50. Hobbs still up by 18. Pena throws it across to Mackey. Sails down the lane against 3 defenders. Reverse layup on the right side. Gets hammered over the top. Coming down on him was Champ Gooden. That might be his 5th, and that's on him. Yep, it is. Gooden will foul out. He's got 4 points in the game and 1 rebound. He has been averaging close to 10 a contest, so Hobbs held him by less than half of his average. Checking in for him will be Kalen Parker.
Mackey was too far under the basket to make it anyway, but he did draw the foul, so there's a chance he can make those 2 points back up.
Coach Reeves calls a timeout. Mackey will come back with free throws here in a second. 68-50, Eagles over Clovis. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Your Hobbs Eagles leading big in the first game of district, 68-50 here in the road. While they take on the Clovis Wildcats. 18-point lead, 2:44 remaining. Lead been as big as 26 here in the second half. Michael Mackey on the free throw line. Your Eagles are 9 of 18 from the stripe for 50%. Clovis at 12 of 17 for 70%. They've dropped off a little bit here in the fourth. Michael Mackey leading the Eagles with 26. He'll get the free throw. Up, and it is off the back of the rim in the front, no good. He'll get one more. So he's got 26. Marvin Cox has got 26 for Clovis, so a big battle going on between those two. Eagles with a couple other double-digit scores. 19 for Pena, 13 for Vega. Second shot for Mackey's off the back of the rim, no good. Underneath the hoop for the rebound for the Clovis Wildcats is Cox, his 8th. He's working on a double-double. Throws it across the timeline to Weiss, crossover down the lane. Down to the right corner to Cox. Kicks it back up top to Torres Pierre. Slings it back to the right corner to Weiss. Baseline, a runner shot with one hand off the back of the rim, no good. Throws it back up on the rebound, can't get it to drop. A second time is off the left side and pulled down for Lehman, who throws it ahead to Mackey. Mackey comes down the lane with the runner and gets it to drop over the front of the rim for another 2. He's got 28 points. Thanks to Lehman on his 4th rebound. 70-50, Eagles by 20. Coming down the lane at the other end, left side. Parker, fadeaway off the baseline. Does it high in the air, and it drops in the hole. He slides across the baseline floor. And a timeout call for Coach Maddox, who chews out the official. One of the foul call there. Boy, he got flattened on the ground. Not quite sure how that happened, but he was out of control that time. Somehow just threw the ball up in the air as he was diving on that left baseline, and it somehow sailed into the hole. That was Parker's 7th point of the ball game. We'll keep it right here with about 70-52 the score. Your Hobbs Eagles on the internet, on the radio. We get you free coverage. HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, Cool 95.7 on the radio, and of course the new Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Great sponsors to get those on for us.
Absolutely they are, including Lee County State Bank, along with Thriftway, Forest Tire, Hobbs Express, Robinson & Associates, Devon Energy, First American Bank, Eunice Pump and Supply, Lasco Construction, and NMR Pipeline. We also want to thank everybody who is joining us from the Hobbs Lady Eagles game, and that was a good victory. 61-14 was the final in that game, of course.
47-point win for the Lady Eagles. Coach Carpenter 1-0 in district. Again, their game was rescheduled as well, and that's against Roswell Tuesday the 31st. The Lady Eagles will be on the road in Roswell. Hobbs boys will host Roswell at Tasker Arena. So they just moved that up till Tuesday. And, of course, both teams have games on Friday. That means the girls will be back-to-back on the road. They'll go to Carlsbad. Hobbs will host Carlsbad next Friday at Tasker Arena. So a couple of home games for you fans there. And, of course, the Eagles on the road doing some big damage to Clovis tonight. Lead by 18, 70-52. After a timeout here with 2:04 remaining. Hobbs basketball in the backcourt. Left baseline will be Vega to inbound. Gets it in near side to Pena. He's guarded by Torres-Pierre, hard dribble up the near side in front of the scorer's table, brings it across the timeline. Double team, stripped from behind, is taken away by Nora. The Eagles' 22nd turnover, throws it ahead, and getting rejected on the righty layup is Parker by Mackey. Ball rose up to the timeline for Chisholm for his 8th rebound, but he dribbles in lane and lost the basketball. Taken away and thrown up ahead for the layup on the right side is Cale Torres-Pierre. Eagles with their 23rd turnover, 70-54 though, a 16-point Eagle lead. Pena gets a pass in the front court to the left corner to Pena, or make that Vega. Up top to Chisholm with a pivot, hands it off to Lehman, who backs it out to the timeline to run clock with 1:20 remaining. Comes left, uses up his dribble, back to the time stripe to Mackey, a dangerous throw. Mackey comes down with it to the right wing, down the lane through 2 defenders, reverse layup on the right side, and yes, he put it through. 30 points for Michael Mackey, and he's had 5 here in the fourth quarter, down to 1:05 remaining, an 18-point Eagle lead. In the front court, right corner, a pass coming from Nora to Torres-Pierre, to Pierre, top of the circle. Drives the right of the lane through 2 defenders. Lehman throws a little hatchet job from behind and knocked the ball out of his hands. And it looks like Pena came away with the basketball. You can see who they got the foul on. Looks like Pena picks up the foul. I guess they saw him second on the contact there. His first, though, just the 18th foul on the Eagles. And that'll put on the line R.J. Nora, who is 0 for 1 for the charity stripe. Clovis is a team 12 of 17 from the line for 70%. But they trail by 18. They can use every single point they can get with the clock stopped here.
Absolutely, they could. They definitely need some points, and badly.
It didn't work on that one. It goes off the back of the rim on the brick, no good. He'll get one more. Jairus Turbiatis checks back in for Lehman. Also stepping off now, looks like Jordan Chisholm. And we got some other subs coming in we'll get for you here in just a second. I believe that's Nick Pena who's just come on the court. Second shot's a swish, putting it through the hole is Nora. He's got 5.
You're right, he is.
Yep, Nick Pena is back on the court. Haven't seen him in the game. Of course, he's been nursing some injuries earlier this season. Eagle basketball, leading by 17, 55 remaining. The inbound from the right baseline backcourt. Knocked out by R.J. Nora as it sails in the air. Goes back out on the baseline. No, actually the near side corner on the right. Inbounding again for the Eagles will be Vega. Vega back deep to Payne into the baseline. He'll go against Gutierrez. Stop and go and a hold foul. Stopping the clock. Foul on Manuel Gutierrez, his 4th. Fans are booing now, but you got to stop the clock anyways. I don't know why they'd be angry about that. 19th foul, though, will be free throws for the Eagles. At least a 1-and-1. Now they're saying 10 for Clovis. I have 9, but make it double now. 2 shots for Pena. Abraham Pena is continuing on his double-digit performance tonight as he steps up to the charity stripe. 19 for him, going to make it hopefully 20-plus with 2 free throws. He's got 4 rebounds as well. Hit 1 tray here in the fourth quarter. And is 4 of 6 from the line. 2 for 2 here in the fourth quarter, bouncing off the front of the rim and misses the free throw. He'll get 1 more. Eagles came in at 9 of 18 before that free throw for 50%.
And I talked to Coach Reeves just last week. He said, yes, they are working on their free throws. It just doesn't seem like it sometimes. They tend to miss them in bunches, but you know what? I believe him. I believe he is definitely working on those free throws because they used to be much worse than 50%.
Lehman will come on for Michael Mackey. Gets a round of applause from the Hobbs Eagle faithful as he'll exit the game with 30 points. Back to Pena now, who's working on 20, but misses another one off the front of the rim. Pulled down underneath by the Wildcats by Cox, his 9th rebound. Throws it ahead, down the lane. Parker goes high off the right side. Glass off the layup. Ball gets knocked out of bounds on the baseline, and it will be Clovis basketball knocked out by the Eagles. Clock stop at 43.6 remaining in the fourth. And Coach Maddox wants a timeout for the Wildcats. He'll take a 60. 72-55, your Eagles by 17. You're listening live to Hobbs Eagle Hoops on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Back in 30. Your Hobbs Eagles are routing Clovis here in Rock Stavis Gym in Clovis, New Mexico. 72-55, a 17-point win. We know Ron Hobbs was kind of on a losing streak before the Artesia game, but they blasted him pretty hard. 16-point winner at Task Arena. And Artesia started out the season 0-3 and then came back with some big wins, knocked off some 5A opponents, including Las Cruces High, which is a pretty big win, and also beat this Clovis team. So Eagles get the win there. Tonight they got a 17-point lead, as big as 26 here in the second half, and looks like they're going to roll with the 1-0 record in district. Just trying to get our video camera back on stock here as it kind of bounced off the tripod for a second. It was attached, but it stayed on. Clovis basketball underneath their hoop on the right base to inbound will be Caitlin Parker. Eagles by 17, though. They're telling Parker to tuck in his shirt. The student section is booing the referee for doing that. That's part of the rules, people. Inbounding again, Parker. Gets the ball rejected right over his head by Pena. Slapped the ball right back at him, Nick Pena, who's come in here late in the fourth. Nice to see him back out of the court for the Eagles. Parker having some trouble, throws it down the lane. It's a pinball action, booted out of bounds on the baseline, and looks like it went off the foot of J.J. Jones, which will be another Clovis turnover, their 22nd of the ball game. Fagan inbound right base, checks it to the far side to Pena. He's going to go hard against Parker across the time stripe. Lost the ball, but he got hit by Parker as he came across. That'll be Parker's fourth personal. And the 11th, no, that's 5. He's out of here. He's just got his 5th personal. He finishes with 7 points.
And I'm sure a little frustration involved in that as well. I mean, you can't be too happy, especially in your home court.
It was senior night here. They do that a little bit early in their district schedule. First game of the district. Pena will step up as he gets to the free throw line. He has yet to shoot a free throw this season. First shot is up and good, so Pena in the scorebook for the Eagles. 6th score of the game for Hobbs. And Coach Reeves trying to get 2 of his defenders back. They weren't listening to him at half court, had to scream at him. Let's get back quickly after that. Lehman and Turbiatis. Second free throw good for Pena. Got them both. He's got 2 points. 35 remaining in the game. 74-55 Eagles by 19. On the left wing, faking a 3. Driving Payne is Nora. Reverse left. No good off the rim. Back. And now Pena runs it down left corner. Gets knocked to the floor. No call. Football block right in the back of his shoulder blades. Went flat on the floor on his stomach. Ball rolls out on the far sideline right. No call there. And Coach Reeves has some words for the official. Ref is smiling at him. Not too funny when a kid gets knocked to the hardwood like that. Him out of the right corner. Holding it for a second is Jones. Throws it back behind him. Gutierrez throws up a 3 off the back of the rim. Pulled down in the middle of the paint and a lean towards the hoop. They get the foul call as Cox went back up with it. That's going to give him a double-double on his 10th rebound. That'll be the Eagles' 10th team foul, as they'll call that against Turbiatis, his first. And as I mentioned, Cox has 10 rebounds in this game. 26 points. Shot up on the free throw, bouncing off the back in front of the rim, no good. Cox has gone 1 of 4 from the line here in the fourth quarter. He started off the half 2 of 2, and in the first half was 4 of 5. 74-55 Eagles make it 74-56. Second free throw good for Cox. He has 27 to lead the Clovis Wildcats and the game for that matter. 74-56 is coming across his Hodge all the way to the rack. Reverse right off the front of the rim, no good. Pulled down underneath the hoop by Cox, his 11th. Down the lane and laying it in uncontested on the right side is Nora. He's got 7, down to 3 seconds. 74-58, inbound to Turbiatis, back to Pena, and that is the ball game as the Hobbs Eagles are now 1-0 in district. They go to 11-10 overall, a 74-58 win over the Clovis Wildcats. We'll take a 3-minute break, come back with a Hobbs Eagle postgame show on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, on the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. back live at Rock Stoppers Gym in Clovis. Big win for the Hobbs Eagles here in district to open up 1-0, 74-58 over Clovis. A 16-point win, got as big as 26 in the second half. Clovis tried to get back in this one with some free throw shooting in the game, but just didn't get the job done. They were 14 of 21 from the line, got 27 from Marvin Cox and 11 rebounds, a double-double for him. But the Eagles, too much to handle. 3 scores in double figures, Ron. Michael Mackey, Abraham Pena, and Braylon Vega.
And that's what we wanted to see, is more output from other people. Mackey is good. In fact, that's his second 30 in a row for him to score. So we needed to have some other people step up, whether it be defensively, offensively. And I love the fact that we've got some players that are hitting their stride. Of course, this is the right time to do it in district. Definitely against Clovis. Of course, you always want to say, look, is this the better team as far as Hobbs, or was this just showing how bad Clovis is? You really don't want to go with that. You just want to go with the positive. So you say, look, Hobbs is going better. They're going to be good against Rossville. They're going to have a little struggles against Carlsbad, but I hope they get the victory on that one and get back on the winning side, especially on the home court, which they are right now 3-6. They need to win out to be able to get 6-6 to be able to avoid a losing season at home at Ralph Tasker, which they have not done. Even actually, that wasn't even Ralph Tasker at the time. It was 1949. That was the first year that Ralph Tasker was coaching. He ended up being 5-6, not too bad for a first year. And so, yeah, that was the only time that Hobbs has suffered a losing season since 1949, and that was just 5-6. So we're hoping to get to avoid that, to continue the ways, and hopefully, do better in district.
Of course, they got 2 games next week at home. Roswell Tuesday, Carlsbad on Friday. Let's look at the numbers in this game. Again, the Eagles winning 74-58 over Clovis. Wildcats did get 27 points and 11 rebounds from Marvin Cox. That is a double-double. So he definitely was the go-to guy in this game. And he's been averaging about second or third in scoring for much of the season. So some of the other guys that normally put in the buckets didn't get as many in this game. Cox came into the contest only averaging 7.8 a game. So, again, about triple of what he normally gets on the season. But he definitely was going in the hole and slashing quite a bit. And on the free throw line, a bunch in this game. In fact, 12 times he was on the line in this contest, and he only missed 4. He was 8 of 12 from the charity stripe. Nobody else in double digits in the contest for Clovis. Had a couple of guys with 7 apiece. Kalen Parker, who did foul out. He was 1 of 1 from the line, and R.J. Nora had 7 as well, 1 of 3 from the line with 2 rebounds. 5 for J.J. Jones, a tray and a bucket, 2 rebounds for him. Champ Gooden, well below his average on the season. He ended up with 4 points, all in the third quarter, 2 for 2 free throw and 1 rebound. Brian Weiss, again, he was low under his numbers for the season. He had 3 points, 1 of 1 on the line, and 2 rebounds. Manuel Gutierrez, 1 of 2 from the stripe for 1 point. Also, it was Hunter Egbert coming off the bench for a bucket and 2 points. And that's pretty much it for the Clovis Wildcats. They finished up with 8 scores in the book, and again, 1 in double figures. 4 3-pointers in the game for Clovis, 3 of those coming at Marvin Cox's hands, and then 1 other from another player on the court. They had only 19 rebounds compared to 37 for the Eagles, so Hobbs almost doubling their glass numbers against the Wildcats. 14 of 21 the Clovis Cats were from the free throw line for 66%, and they did have a total of 22 turnovers in this ball game. Top rebounder again, Marvin Cox with a double-double tonight, 27 points, 12, or making 11 rebounds. For your Hobbs Eagles, you mentioned Mackey getting those 30s. He got one tonight again, 30 points and 8 rebounds. He was getting close to the double-double. Of course, he came out in the fourth quarter on the sub, but definitely a guy that's always hard to keep down. He's going to go to the rack with it. He's going to throw his head back to get the foul call. He's going to get free throw attempts. He's going to put the bucket where it needs to go, the ball in the bucket. And that kid, this is like the Energizer Rabbit. He's not going to stop. Even when he's having a bad night, he's still going to drive to the rack to try to get some cheapy foul calls and some free throws, too.
And there is a reason why he leads in steals, assists, not turnovers, but points as far as his scoring goes. And I believe there's one other that I just blanked on. But, he has been he stepped up a lot. He wasn't much of a player last year. He had others, teammates that he could rely on. This year around, he is the teammate to rely on. And so far, he has stepped up. He did it gradually, and he is definitely peaking at the right time. I saw him just the other day. He was hot, and pretty much today you can consider him the same thing. He was playing hot tonight.
He was 5 of 11 from the line. He started out 3 for 3, but then the second half kind of bit him a little bit. But still, for a couple more free throws, he might have been probably at the 35 level in this game. He's still with 30. You're not going to sneeze at those numbers as a leading scorer for both teams in this game. Abraham Pena, another big night for him. He had 19 points. Also got the three-pointer in the fourth quarter and 4 rebounds in the game. So, again, he's the second leading scorer on the team and needing those double digits from him every week. Definitely has a great outside shot, but he didn't have to rely on three-point shots tonight, did Pena?
No, he did not. And that's the amazing thing, too, because, look, the three-pointer is a great, nice shot. It's just pretty at times. But on the other times, it's either you live or die by them. And you really can't rely on it totally. I mean, at best, you can get 40% of your shots to drop from tray land. And, I always like to see the players not only chase after their own rebounds, but also be able to drive the lane, be able to get in there and, charge the basket, get those baskets, plus get those fouls as well. If you can do all those things, you are improving your play and you're improving your chances for your team to win.
Pena on the line, 4 of 8 in this game for 50%. Braylon Vega, the freshman, he had 3 trays to lead the Eagles and 13 points. Also had 3 rebounds, so he continues to add to his numbers on the season. Vega had 25 to start the game, now 28 total with those 3 that he put through tonight. So 3 guys in double digits as they combine for 62 points of the Eagles' 74 in the books for Mackey, Vega, and Pena. Also getting scoring tonight, Caden Hall, 6 points, but more importantly, 6 rebounds. That kid is getting high off the hardwood, going up on the glass, taking the ball down. Sometimes he doesn't tip it. He just comes down and goes strong up on her fadeaway, possibly from the block. He definitely was helping out the cause coming off the bench tonight. Jordan Chisholm, 4 points. More importantly, again, rebounds, 8 for Chisholm. He and Hall combined for 14 boards between those two tonight. So definitely nice little bookends on the glass for the Eagles. Nick Pena coming in late in the fourth quarter. He had 2 of his free throws for 2 points. And that's about it for the scoring for the Eagles. They had 6 guys in the books tonight. Hobbs was 11 of 24 from the free throw line. Not the best numbers. They were doing pretty well for a while, but then dropped off suddenly in the second half. Went 45% from the line tonight. But they did manage to get those 4 3-pointers in the game, or should I say 5, I should say. They had those 3 from Vega. They got 1 from Pena, and they also got another from Mackey. So 5 total for the Eagles in 3-point range tonight. Turnovers getting kind of ugly there as the game went along. They ended up with 23, actually 1 more than Clovis at 22. But again, we've seen a couple of games this season, and that includes Artesia, where Hobbs winning by double digits. Sometimes want to do too much on the transition game, maybe throw some out of bounds or whatever, but they still win by 16 and up by as many as 26. So again, teams that like to get aggressive and get down the court quickly sometimes misfire, and sometimes with subs coming in too. But so I guess you can't just sit there and look at the turnovers and be too angry at this game, 1-0 in district.
Exactly, because, sometimes it looked like the ball was just covered in oil. Nobody could get a hold of it, both sides, and it just seemed like it was bouncing back and forth. Once you thought that maybe Hobbs had it, then Clovis got control of it for about a second and a half. Then they lost the ball. It was just a back and forth, and they never knew exactly who was going to get the ball until, of course, somebody did get it, and they tried to drive the lane. But, that's the way the ball bounces sometimes or slips out of your hands, and it was definitely a wandering ball in this game.
Yeah, 45 turnovers combined between both of the teams in this game. I think the most dominating thing about it tonight and probably for the season was the rebounds, 37-19 in favor of the Eagles. 8 for Chisholm, 8 for Mackey, 6 for Caden Hall, and then 4 for Lehman coming off the bench. Vega had 3 too, so everybody's stepping up. We mentioned that in the pregame show too, is our rebound totals need to be better against some of these district teams, because that means for all the marbles, you're trying to get into that tournament and state playoffs. Team right now, the Eagles 14 in the Max Preps poll. Again, you're getting kind of close to that 16 cutoff point. You definitely want to impress some people in the committee as the season progresses. Well, Ron, that gets the record now of 11-10, 1-0 in district. Clovis is going to drop to 10-10 and 0-1. Next up for the Eagles, the redo game. They're going to have Roswell on Tuesday night. That will be at Tasker Arena. Roswell is 500 on the season. A lot of these teams are having around the same records, 10-10. They've already lost to Oregon Mountain by 15, 74-59. Cleveland, they got beat by a total of 30 points. That should tell you something right there. Cleveland's starting to move up the Max Preps poll, and Hobbs played a lot closer game to Cleveland, of course, twice this season. So that's a good sign there. Of course, Clovis beat Roswell already this year too. So something to look at. Carlsbad beat them by 22 points, so another big loss for them in terms of a team from the district, and that was before district got underway. Alamogordo, they did beat them in overtime by 6. Alamogordo, of course, the Eagles beat at the Artesia tournament. Las Cruces, they lost by 23 points, a team the Eagles beat in Las Cruces. So when you do common opponents, I know you can do that all night long, but again, that tells you that Hobbs has got an upper hand, at least in terms of the teams they played, the teams that Clovis has played. I should also mention, too, Volcano Vista, the #1 team in the state, 38-point loss to them for Roswell. Roswell has kind of lost some luster over the last couple of seasons. Of course, the coach's sons that he's had on there, usually they're top scorers, and he's trying to rebuild the program. But right now, again, they're 500 at 10-10. Let me see what their last game was. I believe they played tonight. They did have Carlsbad 56-40.
Right.
For 16-point loss tonight. That was, I believe, in Carlsbad.
Yes, it was. It was in Roswell, because it would be one after us. Roswell played in Hobbs, or would be anyway, and then it would go to it would go to Roswell. So either way, no matter what happened, Carlsbad did win that game 56-40. Doesn't look like it was much of a difference as far as Carlsbad leading most of the way. Roswell struggling to get into the game, and we're hoping to see the same thing when they play against Hobbs as well. Also, some other real quick score updates for you. We had the Artesia Levington boys, and Artesia blew them out 51-36 against Levington, while Jal came back against Eunice. The final score was 43-36.
Boy, close game there in Lee County. Of course, Levington, first district game of the season against the Artesia Bulldogs. Well, that wraps it up here in Clovis, Rock Staubus Gym, as the fans are still hanging out. Hobbs Eagles look like they're getting ready to leave the gym with a big win, 74-58, 16-point winner over the Clovis Wildcats to go to 11-10 on the season, 1-0 in district. As we mentioned, Tuesday night, Eagles back at home at Tasker, part of a 2-game homestand. Carlsbad on Friday, but Tuesday night, 6:45 pregame, tip-off at 7. As usual, we're coming to you on a lot of different stations. Radio, Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com on the internet, YouTube, and brand new on Facebook, Cool 95.7. So definitely want to check that out, plus the Cool 95.7 app, etc. So we're going to be exiting here from Clovis. We'll get our sponsors of the season. Of course, without them, these would not be free broadcasts for you. Ron, you got those.
Got these, and they are the following: Lee County State Bank, Thriftway, Forest Tire, Hobbs Express, Robinson & Associates, Devon Energy, First American Bank, Eunice Pump and Supply, Lasco Construction, and NMR Pipeline.
Thanks to Max back at the station. For Ron Gunner, myself, Ty Friend, Hobbs Eagles victorious in Clovis. Have a great rest of a weekend out there.